the 2K Sports pregame show.
This is 2K Sports. I'm Ernie Johnson. Welcome to the NBA. We're joined by the legends Shaquille O'Neal and Kenny the Jet Smith. Tonight we'll see the Toronto Raptors as they play against the Boston Celtics in Boston. Taking a look at the Celtics, they split the season series against these guys last season, 2 games apiece. Should be a good one tonight. For a few seasons now, we've seen the Raptors find a lot of success in the regular season, but they really have trouble making a postseason run. Why is that, Jet?
Well, they rely a lot on their perimeter players, and that could be dangerous because sometimes, perimeter shots can be off. And then they really don't have a defensive stopper, Ernie.
We all know they play the up-tempo game, Ernie, but when it slows down in the postseason, it's harder for them to adjust. Until they learn how to adjust, they're always going to lose in the first or second round.
And now let's send it down to Kevin Harlan. Tip-off approaching. Thanks for joining us.
Starting lineup. Starting at power forward, at 6'9", number 90, Amir Johnson. At guard, 6'2" from Texas, number 0. Avery Bradley. In the middle, 6 feet 10 inches, number 42, Al Horford. The other forward, at 6'6", number 99, GRNKRBY. Starting at point guard, at 5'9", number 4, Isaiah Thomas. Your head coach is Brad Stevens. Let's hear it for your Boston Celtics.
Welcome, everyone. Thanks for tuning in to 2K Sports for another edition of NBA basketball. This is Kevin Harlan along with Clark Kellogg and Greg Anthony with Doris Burke reporting on the sidelines.
All right, ready to go?
This Boston crowd ready to roar in this Eastern Conference matchup for the Celtics. This, their first look at this year's Toronto squad. This team matched up so well during the regular season last year, splitting their 4 games. This should be a terrific battle.
2 division rivals facing off tonight. They'll see one another 4 times this season.
This is definitely the first of many tonight. And in these first games, you always try to set the tone and take that mental and psychological edge.
All fueled up and ready to go. Let's check out who's on the floor, courtesy of Gatorade. So the Raptors 5 right now. Lowry and DeRozan are the guard tandem. Jared Sullinger is out there with DeMarre Carroll. And it's Valanciunas in at the 5. And so it's the Celtics getting on the board first and taken away by Johnson. And pushing it up, here's Boston. In the corner, Crowder with it. The shot. Rebounded by Valanciunas. First quarter of play, 1 minute played. And what you have to like out of Valanciunas last season, improved efficiency. The game really, Clark, seemed to slow down for him.
Yeah, he entered the league a little green. I mean, would make a lot of mistakes, but had excellent tools. So with enthusiasm and hard work, you knew it was just a matter of time with him.
Now DeRozan, following the miss by Kyle Lowry from deep. Count the bucket. And so it's Boston with it, coming off that loss against Philadelphia.
Guys, it was like there was a lid on the basket in that game. No matter how many plays you make at the defensive end, hard to overcome such a lack of production offensively.
Well, you know, the high-quality shots were few and far between for them, guys, and they have nobody to blame but themselves for that. You've got to do a better job of working harder to put up points.
And for Valanciunas last year, his offensive production was similar to the year before, but he cut down on his turnovers. He also raised his shooting percentage to a career-high 57%, and that, my friends, is improved efficiency.
Lowry against Thomas. Johnson outside. Outside Thomas. Back to Johnson. Thomas kicks to Horford. Good, and the assist goes to Thomas.
You know, talking about Valanciunas, the light clearly went on last season. He was more assertive, refined his post game. The next step is to extend his shooting range so he can help space the floor on offense.
Thomas against Sullinger. Thomas kicks to Bradley. The Celtics working the ball around now. And Thomas, here we go. And he gets it to go. Thomas got his first basket.
Well, Merry Christmas. I mean, that was a freebie.
Raptors trail by 5. Lowry kicks to DeRozan. Sullinger the screen. Lowry inside the line. And he comes off the screen to bury the jump shot.
Perfect screen there. Set him up with a terrific look.
Yeah, I like the fact that the setup was good, the screen was solid, but you also have to look at the fact that the defender didn't do his job as well as he could have.
Crowder kicks to Johnson. In the corner, Crowder with it. There's the triple. Jared Sullinger pulls it in. The Raptors have gone 50% from the field, hitting 3 of 6 since the opening tip. Carroll, no one around him. Nails the wide-open jump shot. And we're just over 3.5 minutes into the first quarter. Well, last year for the Celtics, they weren't exactly world beaters at home. Still good enough, though, to get the job done.
Yeah, just a game over 500 here in Boston. Not great, but at least it was over 500 for a young up-and-coming team.
Now here's Johnson following the miss by DeRozan. Thomas passes to Johnson from outside the arc. That doesn't go either for Thomas. The Raptors have gone 50% from the field to this point, 4 of 8. And it's Lowry penetrating. Deep 2 from Carroll. And unable there to get the go-ahead bucket. The Celtics with the lead. Upside Thomas. Pass to Horford. It's stolen by Valanciunas. Here's Carroll. Against Indiana, he was really on his game. No good.
And fancy finishes like that look great, but man, it's embarrassing when you blow them.
Thomas kicks to Johnson. Thomas goes in. The shot's good on the assist by Johnson.
Nice work on the inside. Hard to get that one up and over the big fella.
Well, it's not supposed to be easy down there, and a little artistry on the inside helped him make it happen.
So, timeout called here, the first for Toronto. They defeated Indiana in their last.
The fans certainly got their money's worth in that game. Boy, was that a battle, and it turned out to be a real gritty win for them.
Yeah, they saved their best for last that day. Got it done in overtime.
Here's what Boston's going with right now. Tyler Zeller's checked in for Horford. Olynyk comes in for Johnson. Brown is checked in for Crowder. And it's Gerald Green in for Bradley. And the whistle blows on the backcourt violation. He went over and back.
Well, Kevin, a look here at last year in the NBA where the Raptors ranked. 2nd in free throw percentage. 3rd in fewest turnovers per game. And they also showed up in the top 5 in overall offense. This team has no trouble scoring the basketball. That's the least of their concerns. They love to get it up and down and put it in the hole.
And looking back at their superb free throw percentage, it speaks volumes about their skill level and mental focus. They had very few letdowns in concentration.
Shot and game clock separated by 5. It's deflected. It's Brown with the drive. Stolen by Joseph. 4-on-3 break. Pass to Powell. With 1 on the clock. And that's not going to go. And DeMar DeRozan, star for this Toronto Raptors team, he said he wants to bring them back.
A lot of people.
Let's face it, it's never easy for Toronto to get the attention that Clark, the U.S. teams get. That's just a fact of life that even Vince Carter at his best couldn't change.
And, you know, I don't even know if winning the championship would change that. Quite honestly, even if DeMar won the MVP. Just saying.
Yeah. Well, up to this point, a closely contested game as we start the second quarter. And when you consider how the Celtics are doing, guys, what jumps out to you stats-wise?
Not much room to operate offensively. The defense has been stifling through the first.
Greg, they haven't given up a lot of easy chances at all.
Brown out there with Mickey. Then it's Thomas. Then it's Green. And it's Zeller in center. That's the Boston 5.
Outstanding perimeter defense there. That was a well-contested shot.
Yeah, and you know he takes a lot of pride in his defense. There are no easy threes if he's on you.
And Joseph kicks to Powell. Shot clock at 6. But they recover it. Moves back up. Sullinger with the bucket.
Just a grinder. Always doing the dirty work on the offensive glass. And that's one of the things he brings to the table.
Well, you know, you look at the Raptors, and they improved in a number of ways last season, but their bench play was one of their bigger improvements. I mean, they had one of the weaker benches in the league in 2014, but they flipped that around last year.
Boston again missing. Raptors with the lead. Second quarter of basketball, just over a minute and a half played so far. To the wing right side. Toronto working the ball around now. Ross with a wide open look. Off target with the open look. Greg, one thing about the Raptors last year, they made the moves they needed to in order to be sure to fix their bench, strengthen their bench. It showed on paper and in person.
Yeah, credit their front office. In 2014, they had a bottom 5 bench in terms of scoring. Last season, they flipped that, became a top 5 bench in terms of that scoring, and even had the 6th man of the year leading the way.
Lou Williams. Austin making some changes. Al Horford, he's checked in for Zeller. Crowder comes in for Brown. And Bradley subbed in for Thomas. A new group in now for the Raptors. Jonas Valanciunas, he's checked in for Jared Sullinger. Damari Carroll comes in for Terrence Ross. DeMar DeRozan, he's checked in for P. And it's Lowry in for Joseph. It was a tough battle down the stretch, but the Celtics were able to get back into the playoffs last year.
And kind of just hovering around all season, but give them credit. They fought their way in and spent only 1 year out of the postseason in their rebuild.
And, you know, for the Celtics, the actual playoff series didn't go well. They got swept by the Cavaliers, but most people will remember the injuries from the series more than the play, and the Celtics have a bright future, no doubt.
Lowry dishes to Patterson. Carroll with the 3, and he gets it to go. Carroll's got 5 points so far.
Boy, I tell you what, he loves getting looks like that from the three-point line. No one near him. That's a warm-up jumper for him.
Green passes to Horford. Can't get it to go. Nice D from Valanciunas.
Well, listen, it was a forgettable series for Celtics fans. However, the Celtics' young core were able to experience postseason basketball. That's something that you can really never replicate. I'm sure they'll be hungry for more of it, and credit Brad Stevens on a terrific job.
Excellent ball movement there, guys.
And that's key to this run. Passing it with purpose, the D hasn't been able to keep up.
From deep, Green. Boston, no good that time either. Here's Toronto now. They're on an 11-1 run. Carroll kicks to DeRozan. And again, it's Toronto converting.
Well, and this run really triggered by their transition offense.
And you can see the momentum swinging now. They've gotten a huge boost of energy, and now the offense starting to click.
And he gets it to go. Bradley's got 4 this quarter.
Man, that is not an easy shot right there. I mean, he had to get it off over a much taller defender.
Yeah, he needed to add just a little more loft on that one because of the size mismatch, and he did it perfectly.
Rebounded by the Celtics.
Good little two-man action there, but they just can't get the shot to fall.
Yeah, but that was a beauty. Good-looking shot, well-executed play. I wouldn't be surprised to see them go back to it.
Oh, and that one, no question, powered it down.
And that's the classic 1-2 punch right there. I mean, nice steal. And then how about the elevation, Kevin, on the finish?
And Greg, nothing spurs some quick offense like a great play defensively.
That indicates the importance of great on-the-ball defense, as was displayed right there.
And you look at Horford's game offensively. His mid-range jump shot is as pure as it gets. You got to say, he's probably in that Dirk Nowitzki territory from out there as far as accuracy. Doesn't possess the range that Dirk has, but from mid-range, as good as it gets.
Crowder with the steal. To the middle. And the officials whistle a foul on the shot. The bucket's good. He'll go to the line. Olenek, he's checked in for the Celtics. Brown comes in for Green. Joseph, he's checked in for Toronto.
Yeah, now Horford really has become one of those elite two-way big men. And that's very rare. You look at most bigs in the NBA, they excel at either one end or the other, but this is one of those guys that does it all.
Bradley with the ball, now guarded by DeRozan. And it's blocked by DeRozan. And Joseph kicks to Lowry. Wants to get it to DeRozan, and does. And that one's good. And Horford at 6'10", a natural power forward who's been pressed into duty at the center spot, but he holds his own on the low block.
He also does a really good job, Kevin, moving his feet and covering in space, covering the pick and roll. He's outstanding in that regard, which is important in today's game. He's got mobility and a high IQ.
Johnson, he's checked in for Boston. Isaiah Thomas comes in for Jay Crowder.
It's been a real difficult game for him offensively, and it's costly. They're doing much better now. I mean, in the first quarter, they converted less than 30% of their field goals, but they've bounced back nicely here.
Thomas kicks to Brown. Back to Thomas. Here's the three. Thomas with another miss.
That's not the best of shot selection there. The defense definitely won that possession.
Yeah, I think in that case, you've got to go elsewhere.
That'll do it for the first.
It's the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Hello again, everybody. Ernie Johnson here, joined by Shaquille O'Neal and Kenny the Jet. The first quarter for the Raptors was fairly even. They never dug too deep a hole for themselves in the first period. The most they... And now, folks, it's just about time for the third quarter.
And we welcome you back. Glad to have you with us as more basketball is on the way. During the break, the players getting refueled with Gatorade and are looking amped up and ready to get going once again. Al Horford has been sensational.
And he just went off in those first two quarters, guys. He's capable of doing that on a consistent basis as well. So we might see some changes from a defensive standpoint. As they try to disrupt his rhythm in the second half.
You know, guys, I think you've got to make some sort of change. I mean, they can't let him continue to torch him up like he has been.
And on the floor for Dwayne Casey starting the second half. The star pair of Lowry and DeRozan are the guards. Damari Carroll is out there with Jared Sullinger. And it's Valanciunas in at the pivot spot manning the middle. Raptors leading by 6. Well, the one word you can use to describe the Raptors postseason last year, disaster. I mean, Greg, nothing went right for them.
Yeah, I mean, after that great regular season, They were completely just manhandled by the Wizards, swept out of the first round in 4 straight.
Well, I tell you, the Raptors really were befuddled with how that series went. I mean, they just never got things going and became the first team to get swept with home court advantage in the playoffs since 2011.
Thomas against Lowry. Crowder dishes to Thomas. Knocked away and stolen by Kyle Lowry. Fast break. Here come the Raptors. The pass to DeRozan. Fader on the way. No luck. So the Celtics will take it the other way.
And guys, you look at the Raptors last season and how they stumbled at times. You could see that they would have trouble in the postseason with the way they were constructed. I don't think anybody saw a sweep coming, but that's where it ended up being.
Here's Crowder. Nice pass. Nice catch and a resounding dunk.
And really nothing like a good old-fashioned throwdown to get a team going.
And Greg, they do need to get going. They wouldn't mind, shaving a couple more points off that lead right away.
Well, if the defense keeps giving up easy baskets like that, it won't be a lead for long.
And some changes here for the Celtics. Tyler Zeller's checked in for Horford. And it's Green in for Avery Bradley. And Toronto also making a switch. Patterson, he's checked in for Sullinger. Patterson passes to Carroll. Lowry up top. He's guarded by Thomas. Valanciunas. Rebound Boston. Johnson's got 3 rebounds now in this one. Crowder kicks to Green. It's deflected.
They are really getting the work done inside with their rebound.
The defensive backboard has been controlled. They have not allowed a lot of second chances. It's been about one and done for the most part. And I'm not talking about leaving college.
Yeah, I know you're not. That's a bunch of good rebounding taking place there, boy.
He dishes it to Johnson. Feeds it to Crowder. Wants to get it to Zeller and does. An easy layup after coming off the pick. Zeller's got his first basket of the night.
They're consistently finding ways to get the ball inside and taking full advantage.
Pretty clear. It's smash mouth basketball. Pound that thing inside.
Hickey's checked in for the Celtics. Brown comes in for Crowder. The Raptors also with a sub. Joseph's checked in. The dish to Lowry. Kicks to Carroll. And there's the feed to Joseph. 6 on the shot clock. Screened by Valanciunas. Right block shot. It's blocked. And that's out of bounds. Toronto will retain possession. Powell, he's checked in for Damari Carroll. Here's Valanciunas, and the shot falls short this time.
Well, I think the defense got lucky right there. I mean, he's going to make a lot more of those than he misses when he's got that much room.
And though he's been working on his offensive skills, defense and rebounding are Valanciunas' bread and butter. That was the case with him when he was playing in Lithuania club, and it's the case now.
It still sure is the case. I mean, it's hard to find a guy with this combination of size, athleticism, and fluidity. Just a tad over-aggressive at times, but I'd rather have to turn a guy down than to turn him up.
Boston making a switch here. Olynyk's checked in, and it's blocked. We've gone about 3.5 minutes into the third now. Joseph dishes to Patterson. To the middle. Here's Ross. Hits some rim on the way in, and the bucket's good.
And watching Valanciunas rebound, it's clear he has all the tools. Great anticipation, really looks to box out. Strong vertical, might just need to add some strength to become a perennial 10-rebound-a-game guy.
Olynyk the pass to Thomas. Drills the three-pointer. Thomas got 7 points in the game.
Boy, they are passing the ball very crisply right now.
They really are, and their last 3 buckets have come by way of an assist.
Passes to Powell. Dishes it to Valanciunas. Takes it off the glass.
And for Valanciunas, he's been working on his defensive consistency. Last year, he actually increased his blocks per game while lowering his fouls per game. That's a big step forward in his development.
Boston making a switch here. Horford's checked in. Jared Sullinger's checked in for the Raptors. Celtics trail by 7. Thomas kicks to Green. He feeds it to Horford. Back to Green. Horford gets the bucket. 13 points in the game.
The defense has not been able to keep the ball out of the paint at that end of the floor.
And I'd be interested to know just how many of these attempts have come from inside of 5 feet.
Sullinger inside, working on Horford. So the whistle blows on the shot and 2 free throws for the contact right there.
And really a fantastic season for Sullinger last year. Really made some leaps forward, but missed a lot of time still due to injury.
Avery Bradley, he's checked in for Green, and he can't hit the second. Sullinger did continue to improve last year, Clark, but you can't ignore that he had to miss time once again.
Yeah, and you hope that he'll be able to stay healthy for a full year at some point. When he's on the floor, he's a hard matchup for just about every team in the league.
Toronto leading by 6. Ross on the wing. He kicks it to Powell. Battles through traffic and lays it in. Powell's got 6 points. 29 seconds left in the third quarter of the game. Thomas dishes to Olynyk. Thomas passes to Olynyk. And Thomas, here we go. And Olynyk kicks to Thomas. Clock at 6. Pass to Brown. Poke loose. Whoops, there's the 24-second shot clock violation, so they'll turn it over. 5 seconds left to play here in the third. Here's DeRozan. And no good, trying to get... The fourth quarter just moments away now as we welcome you back. Raptors with the lead. We've got Jay Crowder. Avery Bradley is out there with Brown. Then it's Kelly Olynyk. And it's Johnson in at the 4. That's the Boston 5. Floats one up. Crowder pulls it in. The Celtics shooting about 42% so far. Brown kicks to Bradley. Power down with both hands.
Now that's finishing your work right there.
Powerful two-hand jam. You're right.
And I tell you what, if he's got a few more of those in him, this lead will start shrinking even further.
The drive by Lowry.
And for Kyle Lowry, last season was full of milestones. First, he signs the big contract extension for 4 years. Then he earns his first ever All-Star selection. Unfortunately, he didn't finish as strong with the postseason, but a terrific year.
Valanciunas, he's checked in for Toronto. Celtics trail by 8. Bradley dishes to Crowder. And Jared Sullinger picks up the foul. That's his first foul.
And you can see he just didn't get squared up with his feet.
Greg, those are always tough to judge, but I think the official got that one right.
Now here's Crowder. Carroll covering.
Those are chances almost always you can rely on him to get you 2 points, but the D just enough to keep him out of rhythm.
The drive by Lowry. That pushes it to double digits. 7 points for Jared Sullinger.
Kyle Lowry with a beautiful setup.
Johnson, the pass to Bradley. Back to Johnson. Bradley kicks to Johnson. Nice ball movement by Boston. Bradley against DeRozan. 4 on the shot clock. Baseline try, and nothing but air on that one. Raptors leading by 10. Lowry kicks to DeRozan. We're just over a minute and a half now into the fourth. Misses it from 7 feet out. Clark, some tough offensive sets. They want to turn it around.
Yeah, they need a basket just to regain some momentum here, Kevin.
Time called here. The Celtics decide to talk it over. Well, last year, Toronto won their division and got bounced out in the first round. Same result, Clark, they had back. in 2014.
Yeah, but you know, despite that sameness, they were an improved team last season, Kevin. They did a lot of the small things better in total, and I thought looked better and more cohesive as a group.
And as you mentioned, the Raptors did improve last season. I mean, they cut back on their turnovers a lot. They were top 3 in the league in terms of taking care of the basketball.
And I think Doris Burke has something for us right now. Doris?
Thank you, Kevin. Brad Stevens had some words for his team over the break. He was not happy with their play to this point, telling them we're getting out hustled, plain and simple. There's still time, but we've got to dial up our effort. Kevin, we'll see if they have enough to get it done.
And as you said, the Raptors took care of the ball a lot better and as a result had more assists. They also cut back on their fouls, and that was helpful. Little things like that made them much more competitive as a team and helped lead them to those 49 wins. He's starting to feel it. He's in a groove here in the second half.
Toronto calls timeout.
Well, you know, last season I thought the Celtics made some strong waves in the East. I mean, they kept fighting and fighting all season long, and they ended up in the playoffs because of that never-give-up attitude.
Lowry drawing the double team. And Sullinger kicks to Carroll. Pass to Lowry. Fires from 18. No luck. So the Celtics will take it the other way. And for the Celtics, 28 of their 40 wins on the season came against the East. Not impressive, but it got the job done in a conference which could be had at times, obviously.
That's true, but what should be noted, Kevin, about the Celtics against the East is just how well they played against the Eastern Conference playoff teams.
Right.
I mean, against the East top 8, they shot a lot better and executed a lot better as well. So you could see them stepping up their game against the competition.
He's been one of their more reliable options today, guys. I mean, his shooting has led them to this lead.
Now a timeout called by Boston. Celtics trail by 7. Over to the wing. Picked by Horford. And a high bounce as it comes off the rim.
Solid rebound there, and with the score like it is, that's an area where they can't afford to get lazy.
Yeah, another column in the stat sheet that hasn't gone in their favor. To climb back, they've got to put forth more effort.
And he has slipped into a funk, Clark. You can see the confidence is shaken.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, he's very much deflated. The basket looks a lot smaller to him at this point, and the only way you can get out of it is to work yourself out of it.
Johnson, he's checked in for Boston.
Amir Johnson.
Down to 5 on the shot clock. Here's Bradley. And that one hits back iron.
Well, I like the defense there. Right up in his grill, didn't give him a chance.
2 minutes to play in the quarter.
Screened by Valanciunas. Lowry dishes to DeRozan. Outside Carroll. And Boston with the rebound.
I'm shocked that didn't turn into 3 points. I mean, he makes you pay on those nearly every time.
Right side, DeRozan looking to end his cold spell. And again, no good by Toronto. Thomas goes in. Here's Crowder. Again, the miss by the Celtics.
One made 3 formed for the game. Does he focus closer in? Let's see.
Lowry with the ball. Now guarded by Bradley. Lowry passes to DeRozan. Fades. And he gets the bucket. And the Raptors lead by 9.
Now that's an old school move right there. A good one, too, the fadeaway.
Thomas kicks to Bradley. Back to Thomas. Got a piece of it. And here's Lowry. There's the pass to Carroll. That's in, coming off an assist from Lowry. And now a 12-point Toronto lead.
I don't want to say they're trying to run up the score here, but they do keep adding to the lead.
Well, I know you don't want to say it, but I will, partner. I mean, mean, they're trying to run the score up here. It's plain and simple. They're trying to throw salt all in that wound.
The three, and that one's good.
And this is going to be a fantastic result for them. No win on the road comes easy.
Not in the NBA, they don't. And trust me, they're going to take a little extra pleasure in this win, having silenced an entire building of hostile fans.
The three from Johnson. DeMar DeRozan grabs the board. Feeds to Lowry. Out to the right wing. And it's out of bounds. The Celtics will take it the other way.
You know, that's hard to explain that play. I mean, I guess he thought he had more room than he did.
From deep. Off target. And so Toronto takes this one.
Kyle can...
The 2K Sports postgame show.
Many thanks, Kevin. So now we move on to our Jordan player of the game, Damari Carroll.
This was a complete performance we witnessed here tonight, Ernie. Hey, Shaq, check this out. On offense and defense, don't you think he led his team better than anyone we...
And that wraps things up, folks. Thanks for joining us. For Shaquille O'Neal.
The 2K Sports pregame show.
This is 2K.
Oh, say.
Welcome, folks. For tuning in to 2K Sports for the latest presentation of our NBA basketball. I'm Kevin Harlan alongside Clark Kellogg and Greg Anthony. Looking at Boston, they want to turn it around after the loss to Toronto. And boy, they really got humiliated at home. They got flat out dominated in that game, guys.
And really, had they just shot their average from the free throw line in that game, I think that probably changes the outcome.
No doubt. I mean, because there is a carryover effect when you're not having success at the line.
All fueled up and ready to go. Brought to you by Gatorade. Let's check out who's on the floor. On the court right now for the Spurs, the always reliable Parker and Green in the backcourt. Aldridge out there with Pau Gasol. And it's Leonard in at the 3 spot. Parker's shot is off. What a season for Al Horford last year. Such a great display from him and his team as he led the Hawks to the #1 seed in the Eastern Conference.
And for all the team accomplishments the Hawks had, Horford was able to hit some of his own milestones as well. Had his first career triple-double last season. Wow. Almost intimidating the defense there. They didn't even try to get back on defense.
Well, I don't think it would have mattered even if they did try to get back, Greg. I mean, there was no way anybody was going to beat him to the bucket there.
And that last replay courtesy of Kia. Spurs have gone 1 of 3 from the field to start this one so far. Parker kicks to Leonard. The dish to Gasol. Passes it to Parker. Just 5 to shoot. Misses off the left iron.
Very dangerous to leave a guy like that open. Lucky break there for the D.
Crowder. Green with the block. And it goes out of bounds. Last touch by Green. It's Thomas outside.
They're 1 of 4 here to start, looking to get into a flow offensively.
And Leonard has it in the corner. That drops, and it comes off an assist from Parker. Leonard's got 5 now.
How in the world did they let him get that wide open?
Bradley passes to Thomas. To the paint. And 2 free throws coming up as he misses that one. Drawing the whistle and a lot of contact there. That's on LaMarcus Aldridge.
And Al Horford is just a winner, guys. I mean, win 2 NCAA titles at his time playing for Florida. His teammates call him the Godfather because of how calm and quiet he is in terms of his leadership and the mentoring he provides. It's been the same here in the NBA.
Now, here's Parker. He had 10 points in the win against Brooklyn. They get it back. Feeds it to Green. Parker dishes to Green. There's a good screen. Pass to Leonard. The 17-footer goes down. Leonard's got 7 points in the game. And that Florida team with Horford, Noah, and Corey Brewer, such a tight-knit group. All those guys still competing and defending at a very high level now in the NBA.
Each of those guys very team-first in their approach. That's what they're about, winning. And because they've experienced championship winning, they stay locked in to that task.
Now here is Aldridge. He's coming off a 28-point game against Brooklyn.
Boy, was he physical. I mean, in that game, just drawing a lot of contact and getting himself to the line over and over. That is some tough defense there against one of the better finishers in our game.
Leonard on the wing. Lots of room. And it's Leonard again missing.
I guess even he has to miss one of those once in a while.
Thomas kicks to Crowder. That's in there. Thomas with the assist. 6 points for him.
That's the kind of D that you're not going to find success with, guys. They've got to get a hand in the face.
And it's blocked. Crowder, the pass to Bradley. And he lays it straight in.
He always knows where his teammate's going to be, and Kevin, that will let him put the ball where he wants it, right waiting for him.
Now here's Parker. No scoring yet from him, but that's likely to change. We've got 1:48 left to play in the first quarter. So the Celtics call timeout. They're first.
And how good a playmaker has Tony Parker been? One of the best in recent history. The all-time leader in assists for the Spurs over his 14 years there. Just a crafty guy with the ball in his hand.
Here's what Boston's going with right now. Johnson, he's checked in for Mickey. Jerebko comes in for Al Horford. Brown, he's checked in for Crowder. And it's Rozier in for Isaiah Thomas. Here's Rozier. It's tipped. Stolen by Ginobili. Pass to Mills. Lee outside. The pass to Ginobili. Five to shoot. Back to Lee. There's the three. Lee can't get that one to fall. And continuing our talk of Tony Parker, the first year he laced up his sneakers, he increased the tempo for that entire Spurs offense, and it continues to this day.
Yeah, and the increase in floor spacing and tempo, a big reason the Admiral, Tim Duncan, and Parker won the championship together in 2003, and obviously Duncan and Parker have won a few more rings since then.
In the corner, Bradley with it. There's three-pointers off the mark.
They've got a narrow edge here in rebounding early on. You wonder how much that'll play going forward.
Yeah, it's a game of inches, and every play counts.
In the foul on Avery Bradley. That is his first foul of the game. Olenek, he's checked in for Bradley. And San Antonio also making a switch. Simmons is checked in. 27 seconds left in the first. Lee, a screen on Johnson. Anderson dishes to Simmons. And here's Mills for three. Rebound Boston. Now here's Brown. Picked his pocket. It's Ginobili with the drive. 1 second left. And a chance to hear from Tony Parker, who said he lives for the challenge of continuing to improve. And in Tony Parker's case, great is what he wanted to be and has been for a long time.
You know, that's great because that shows pops and why he's one of the best in the game. You got to be able to drive and motivate and also give the confidence. And that's what's happened with Tony Parker. Remember when he first came on the scene, it was not a cakewalk for him. He had his struggles, and now we're talking about a guy who's going to be in the Hall of Fame.
Well, it's been a tight one so far as we get the second quarter going back here. And what do you guys think about Boston here in this one?
A lot of tough D being played by them so far. It's been the difference maker.
Greg, no uncontested shots for the most part. That's why they've had success.
On the court for San Antonio here in the second. Mills and Manu at the guards. David Lee is out there with LaMarcus Aldridge. And it's Simmons in at the three. Last season, Clark, the Spurs kept on winning as usual. They passed the Lakers, in fact, for the best winning percentage all time for a franchise.
Well, some of that has to do with the struggles the Lakers had last season, but more of it is credit to the Spurs. Consistency and high-quality play has been who they are and have been for 2 decades.
Ginobili with the ball. Now, Thomas defending. And Simmons kicks to Lee. Horford with the rebound. Horford's got 4 rebounds now tonight. Outside Thomas. Bradley, no one around him. Off target with his 3.
Hard to figure out how he doesn't knock that one down. No defender in sight.
Second quarter, we're a little over a minute and a half in. Now here's Mills, guarded by Bradley. And 2 shots coming up at the line as he gets fouled on the shot.
And David Lee missing time early last season with that hamstring injury also opened the door up for Draymond Green to kind of take that starting power forward role. And give Lee credit, though. Didn't sulk, just threw himself into his new role as a super sub.
Brown, he's checked in for the Celtics. You're talking about David Lee, the two-time All-Star. Pretty much a starter most of his career, though. A big change, Clark, as he came off the bench this past season after he was injured in the preseason.
Yeah, you know, you think about his game, though, Kevin. Highly skilled, mobile, smart. Gives you energy and scoring. I think he's ideal coming off the bench.
And now let's take a look at the stats for Thomas. How he did last season. He was around 16 points per last year. 4 assists and 2 rebounds. And he paced the whole team in points per game last season.
Sure, his teammates knew he was their best option, so that's why they just kept feeding him the rock. Boy, that was a thing of beauty by Parker.
Thomas kicks to Horford. Back to Thomas. Nice ball movement by Boston. Boston again missing.
That would have been lucky had it fallen. Poor shot selection.
Yeah, look at the coach's face and the expression. It says all over it. Are you kidding me?
Oh, here's Parker. Right wing. Shot clock at 6. Good, and the assist goes to Gasol. And it's a 6-point Spurs lead.
You know, obviously, he knows how to finish with some flair.
It's stolen by Green. On the wing, Green. Offensive rebound, Spurs.
That's one he knows he should have drained.
Thomas kicks to Bradley. And he didn't get quite enough under that one.
You know what? He's just stone cold right now. Really not sure if he's their best option offensively as they try to get back in this game.
Boy, they've gone on this run, and ball movement has been a big key.
It really has, Clark. The defense unable to react as quickly as necessary in terms of dealing with their passes.
And a new group in for the Celtics. Kelly Olynyk's checked in for Horford. Johnson comes in for Jay Crowder. Yarebko's checked in for Avery Bradley. And it's Rozier in for Thomas. And San Antonio with the change here, too. Kyle Anderson, he's checked in for Lee. These teams were last season's best passers. The squads with the most assists in the NBA. In fourth, the Celtics. Number 5, the Spurs.
Both teams really good at passing the basketball. You look at the numbers from a season ago, very unselfish.
The Boston Celtics figured to be near the bottom of the league last year. In many ways, they outperformed a lot of people's expectations.
And by no means were they a contender at any point, but they very well could be ahead of themselves in terms of the rebuilding process.
Now Parker. Now the feed to Anderson. Outside for Gasol. Here's Parker. Bounces high off the rim and drops. Parker's got 4 this quarter.
And good passing, setting up a lot of these buckets right now, Kevin. That's been the key.
Dime-dropping delights is what I call it.
Yeah, that's a nice pass. I will give you that one.
Yep, he was on the money, that's no doubt. And it's going to be out of bounds. The Spurs will take it.
All right, a chance to check out stats for Gasol. Last season, he played outstanding. 4th in rebounding, 8th in blocks, and amongst the league's top-tier scorers, top 20 in points per game.
And he's so physical and explosive. I mean, you really can't keep him off the glass when he wants to get there. That's why he's top 5 in rebounding.
And Boston has possession after the miss from Pau Gasol. Kicks it to Johnson. He feeds it to Yarebko. Stolen by Anderson. Gasol wide open. He fires. And off the left side of the rim. And it swirls in for him. And let's get your guys' take now on the hustle stats for San Antonio.
And it's been about their defense. They're playing with a frenetic pace, putting a lot of pressure on the ball handlers and forcing turnovers.
And I really think you've got to love the way they protected the rim today. I mean, a good number of blocks in the first half.
Time called here. The Celtics decide to talk it over. They're getting their first look of the season at San Antonio in this one.
And in a conference game here, just a 2-game season series.
Yeah, you know, you want to make every game count. Take care of business and give yourself a chance to sweep.
So Boston going with almost an entire new group here. Mickey's checked in for Olynyk. Horford comes in for Johnson. Crowder, he's checked in for Yarebko. And it's Isaiah Thomas in for Rozier. Manu Ginobili, he's checked in for San Antonio. Mills comes in for Parker. Now here's Thomas. Coming in off a 10-point game his last outing.
You know, he's been off his game this quarter just a bit. Hasn't been able to get a whole lot to go so far.
Ginobili can't hit. Last game for the Spurs, they picked up the W against the Brooklyn Nets.
They just weren't challenged. I mean, nearly as much as they should have been in that game, at least when they had the ball.
Yeah, it was a mismatch. I mean, the defense from the start was on its heels practically the entire game.
Here's Mills. Isaiah Thomas making his last shot. Just 2 seconds between shot clock and game clock. Gasol's got room. That's in. He's got 2 made now, and he's shooting 2 for 3.
And after that ragged first quarter, they're getting some momentum, some confidence. Nice flow.
Yeah, and, you know, the game of basketball, as you well know, Greg and guys, is a game of runs. So their offense is starting to move in a positive direction now. Nice upswing here.
And
Will Papa Sup.
The 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Welcome back, everybody. It's the 2K Sports Half. Kawhi Leonard is having one of those nights. He had 12 points and 1 block. That's going to do it for now as the second half is just...
the second half just about to get going here. Kawhi Leonard really has his fingerprints all over this one.
And the thing I noticed most in that first half was his offense. He was not wasteful with his opportunities and also did a great job of converting with the chances he had.
I agree with you, Greg. Judicious shot selection. All of his looks were good looks.
Thomas is the point with Bradley into his side. Horford is out there with Jay Crowder. And it's Mickey in at the 5 spot. That's the group for Brad Stevens getting going here in the second half. No good from Gasol. Celtics trail by 9. Bradley drives in. Parker with the steal. Leonard against Thomas. And Leonard gets it to go. Leonard's got the first bucket of the third here for the Spurs. And taking care of the ball has been a problem for him.
Yeah, defensively, some really good pressure being applied, though, so you've got to give credit there. It seems like they've been rattled a little bit.
Greg, you think they've been rattled?
They have, Kevin, but that's something they've got to fix. While the defense has been good, a lot of these turnovers have been unforced.
Here's Thomas following the score by Tony Parker. Here's Crowder. And so he earns a trip to the line. Officials saw the contact, and he'll shoot 2.
Wow, he got whacked on that one. Shouldn't be much debate there.
Blatant contact. Straightforward call. Simple.
Well, you could see a change in the play with the Celtics after the trade deadline last year. Adding Isaiah Thomas gave them some pop off the bench and really created some balance for them offensively.
Here's what Boston's going with right now. Johnson, he's checked in for Mickey. And it's Rozier in for Thomas. And that was something the Celtics needed, adding Thomas, a player that could come in and provide Clark instant offense for them off the bench.
And, Kevin, I think that was a turning point for them last year. I mean, they saw that they had a chance to make a big leap forward after the trade and responded accordingly.
Here's Rozier to the inside. Now here's Crowder. He's covered by Leonard. Crowder, the pass to Johnson. Horford trying to free himself up. Great D that time from Leonard.
That's what we call good defense in the paint. Worth its weight in gold.
It absolutely is, and maybe even more than that. I mean, you saw it right there. Without his presence, that's an easy basket. Even though he isn't having the best of games from the floor, it hasn't seemed to hurt him.
Bradley drives in, and he gets it to go.
Nice pass. He got the ball right into his teammate's shooting pocket. On time and on target.
Here's Gasol. That drops, and it comes off an assist from Parker. Parker's got 5 assists in the game. Johnson against Gasol. Horford dishes to Bradley. The Celtics working the ball around now. And there's the whistle. Fouled hard on the shot. He'll go to the line. You know, these are the guys you need to be aware of. if you don't want your pocket picked. Here are last season's steals leaders. Kawhi Leonard on top.
There were so many nights when he controlled the game through his defense. Not a surprise to see him ranked at the top.
Boston making a switch here. Jerebko's checked in.
And the Spurs last season became the first franchise to hire a female assistant coach. A big step, not just for the Spurs, but really for all of the NBA.
And Boston has possession following the miss by Tony Parker. That one's good. The San Antonio lead is cut down to just 8 points on the bucket from Rozier. Spurs have gone 4 of 9 from the floor so far in the third. Down low, here's Lee, and a foul on the shot. He'll go to the stripe for 2. One thing about David Lee is a proven scorer and rebounder. Clark, health, though, has been a concern.
It has been very durable early in his career, Kevin, but of late we've seen hamstring issues, back issues, and torn hip flexors, and that's taken a toll on him for sure.
Brown, he's checked in for Boston. San Antonio also making some changes. Manu Ginobili, he's checked in for Green. And it's Mills in for Parker. Bradley drives in and stolen by Aldridge. Third quarter action and just under 3.5 minutes have gone. Manu Ginobili on the wing. Bangs home the trifecta. Ginobili's got the lead up to 13 now for the Spurs.
And guys, for David Lee, when healthy, he can absolutely fill it up. I mean, he's a terrific offensive player, can score over both shoulders, a really solid passer, and of course, a volume rebounder.
Now here's Ginobili. Following the miss by Avery Bradley. It's Ginobili with the drive. Aldridge up on top. That falls. Nice feed that time for Manu Ginobili.
How nice was that? Aldridge has such great form and extension on that shot.
And David Lee reworking to improve his mid-range jumper going into last season. When he's hitting that shot, guys, he's almost impossible to defend.
The shot's good from Jerebko. San Antonio leading by 13. And Mills kicks to Ginobili. Aldridge with a screen on Bradley. Bradley against Ginobili. Shoots it up. Aldridge can't get that one to fall. The Celtics have gone 3 of 6 in the third quarter. 50% from the field. Bradley passes to Jerebko. Here's Rozier. Puts it up. Misses the jumper.
And he rushed that one, no doubt about it. The D out of position, you can see the frustration on his face.
They're straying away from the three-point game here in the second half. And that's fine as long as they're on the lead and they're getting good shots. They've decided not to take nearly as many three-pointers in this half.
Here's Brown after the made shot from Manu Ginobili. Rozier the pass to Jerebko. 6 on the shot clock. To the inside. And it's sent back by Aldridge. 36 seconds left to play here in the third. Lands soft on the front of the rim and drops.
Guys, this doesn't look like the same team defensively we saw in the first half. I mean, they're flat as day-old pop.
Bradley kicks to Brown. A good look from Bradley. Gets to the corner and buries it. Bradley's got 6 points. Spurs leading by 15. And here's Mills. He's had some playing time, but no scoring yet from him. He dishes it to Aldridge. The baseline J. Aldridge can't get that one to fall.
Awesome defense. I mean, he'll hit those unless you're right in his grill.
Here we go, Boston. Now coming to the court are your Celtics.
And thanks again for joining us. Let's see what happens here in the fourth.
And it's just hard to imagine the Spurs without Coach Popovich on the sidelines. He's the longest tenured coach in the NBA and has done so much for this team. Easily one of the best coaches in the history of our league.
On the court right now for the Spurs, defensive-minded Green and Leonard are the wings. Anderson is out there with Pau Gasol. And it's Parker in at the point. And pushing it up, here's Boston. Here's Bradley. Dishes it to Horford. Fires for 3. And that one's good. Horford's got the first basket as we get going in the fourth for the Celtics.
You know, what an advantage he brings to this offense, guys. I mean, being able to drain the three ball, that really can spread a defense and extend the defense as well.
Now here's Green. Leonard, that's for two. But they get it back. Here's Anderson. And the shot is good, dropping in off the front of the rim.
I mean, if you're looking to get back into this game, you have to get tougher defensively.
Kicks it out to Bradley. There's the dish to Thomas. To the right side. Crowder, the pass to Horford. Leonard with the steal. And there's the slam dunk to finish it off.
Pretty devastating, actually, to turn the ball over like that and surrender 2 more points.
Yeah, you can ill afford to make mistakes at this juncture. It might not be impossible to come back, but it just got all the more harder.
He used that pick to get in close. And that's now 6 points for Isaiah Thomas. Just about 1.5 minutes gone by here in the fourth. Pass to Gasol. And another basket for San Antonio.
Looks to me like they hit the refresh button here in the second half after shooting less than 40% from the field before the break.
But the defense allowed them to stay in it, and now with the offense looking rejuvenated, they've got to be feeling confident.
Here's Horford after Pau Gasol's bucket, and that one's good. And that's now 9 points for Isaiah Thomas.
They're getting a bunch of their points outside of the paint. 3 of their last 5 buckets are from three-point range.
The defense is just not closing out quick enough.
Now here's Parker. Left side Anderson. And it's wide right. Hits off the rim.
Great looking defense, really, just to disrupt the rhythm on that shot.
Yeah, it really turned it from a simple, straightforward look into a very difficult shot. Okay, that's more like it. A nice job here in the second. I mean, their field goal percentage is way up compared to what they did in the first half, where they shot a very low percentage. It actually was just above 30%.
San Antonio making a switch here. Aldridge is checked in, and it goes out of bounds. That one's off Parker.
I tell you what, that's just a major unforced error right there, guys. My goodness.
Thomas dishes to Bradley. He's looking for Horford and finds him. Back to Bradley. He kicks it to Horford. The Celtics working the ball around now. It's stolen by Green. It's Parker with the drive. Offensive rebound. Banked in off the glass. And let's get your guys' take now on the hustle stats for the Spurs.
The activity level defensively, I've really been impressed with. They've been in attack mode on the defensive end.
Something else they've done is force a lot of mistakes defensively, and they've been turning those turnovers into points.
Let's find out what Doris Burke has for us.
Thank you, Kevin. Brad Stevens had some words for his team over the break. He was not happy with their play to this point, telling them we're getting out hustled, plain and simple. There's still time, but we've got to dial up our effort. Kevin, we'll see if they have enough to get it done.
All right, Doris.
And defensively, they are on their heels every time the ball comes inside.
Yeah, I think they've got to ramp up the aggressiveness, Greg. I mean, if they don't, things are just going to get worse from here.
Here's Thomas following the score by Tony Parker. Puts up the baby hook. Over in the corner, Green. That drops, and it comes off an assist from Parker. And the Spurs lead by 16.
And that bucket adds to what has been a big difference in points in the paint between the two teams.
Yeah, it's really been quite a contrast. I like the way they're attacking the middle at their offensive end.
Now here's Horford. And the layup's good off the glass.
If you give him an inch of space, he's going to make you pay.
Time called here. The Spurs decide to talk it over. They're up by 14. 1:57 left here in the fourth quarter. Amir Johnson's checked in for Al Horford. Manu Ginobili, he's checked in for San Antonio. 1:57 left in the game. Outside Leonard, inside. Parker against Bradley. Parker kicks to Aldridge. Just 5 on the clock. That's good. And that's now 10 points for Pau Gasol.
He shot the ball exceptionally well as they've built this lead for themselves here.
Thomas goes in. Pass to Mickey. Fires it up. Rejected by Gasol.
And tonight's battle is going to end with a very clear winner, leaving nothing to chance. Impressive win for the Spurs.
You're right there, Steve. In one area that stands out that we've seen tonight from them, Clark, their aggressiveness in getting steals, something I know that you really value yourself.
Well, it deflates the opposition when you can be pesky defensively, and then it sparks your offense, and that's what happened for them. When you have the type of effort we saw tonight, it's hard to overcome that kind of defensive pressure.
And so with this, they'll end up with their second win on the year.
And so they'll take the first game of the season series, a team they'll only see twice. They're certainly happy to start it off with a win.
And that next meeting, Greg, will be the second and final game of the season series, being in opposite conferences. So you bet nobody wants to get swept even in a 2-game season series. I think the next game will be hotly contested.
And what a huge standout performance it was for Kawhi Leonard. Every time he shot it, it seemed like it was going to drop in. And if it didn't, everyone was surprised.
Here is Anderson after the made shot from Manu Ginobili. 20 feet out. Anderson can't get it to go. Here's Green. Solid defense there from Ginobili.
And you saw how quick the defense was. They were ready for him. They got the hand in the face there and made that much more difficult.
Yeah, and every team needs that kind of rugged interior defense because you want to try to distract your opponents when they get inside, and you also want to make them uncomfortable in their shot attempts.
And so it's San Antonio.
Gentlemen,
The 2K Sports postgame show.
Thank you, Kevin. And now let's move on to the presentation of our Jordan Player of the Game, Kawhi Leonard.
There's no question about it. As far as small forwards go, Kawhi Leonard is right up there with the best of them. You know if you leave him open, he's going to knock it down every look he gets. But what makes him elite is his stifling brand of D.
There was nothing they could do to slow him down, Ernie. Man, you go into a building on the road and completely control the action like he did. Only a few players could do that, Ernie. I'm impressed.
And that wraps things up, folks. Thanks for joining us. For Shaquille O'Neal, Kenny the Jet
It's the 2K Sports pregame show.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the NBA on 2K Sports. Ernie Johnson here with my esteemed colleagues, Shaquille O'Neal.
On the floor for the visiting Boston Celtics.
Thanks for joining us live for NBA basketball on 2K Sports. This is Kevin Harlan with Clark Kellogg and Greg Anthony. And joining us in a bit later from the sidelines, Doris Burke. Looking at Boston, they want to turn it around after the loss to the Spurs. And boy, they really got humiliated at home. They got flat out dominated in that game, guys.
Yeah, they just really struggled to put points on the board throughout that game. You could just see they were pressing, just couldn't get anything to go on the offensive side of the ball.
Yeah, and guys, once they got spiraling downward, there seemed to be no way to get out of it. All their offense went to pot.
So let's take a look at the Boston Celtics starting lineup. Thomas is the point with Bradley to his side. Jay Crowder out there with Mickey. And it's Horford at center. Here's Ellis. Here's Young. Nice work on the boards. Paying off with the basket. Young's got his first basket of the night.
He got a great read of where that miss was going, and that allowed him to be the first guy to it and get the putback.
Pass to Mickey. Nice ball movement by Boston. Releases. And a big bounce off the rim, but it sinks right in.
Well, so far for Coach Brad Stevens, the Celtics have had nothing but praise for their outstanding young coach. No surprise for those of us who know Brad. The team is really moving ahead in the rebuilding process, and he gets a lot of the credit for that.
First quarter, about a minute and a half in. And Young kicks to Ellis. Fires from deep. That doesn't go either for Ellis. The Celtics have gone 1 of 3 from the field to start this one so far. Pass to Horford. To the inside. Here's Mickey. And the call will be against Thaddeus Young. That is his first foul of the game. So it's the Celtics now. 4-point game. It's Thomas outside.
The shots aren't dropping yet. They've missed 4 of their first 5 shots.
Teague drives in. That's tipped. The first quarter of action, 2 minutes in. Dishes to Thomas. Crowder, the pass to Thomas. Here's Horford. That one falls, coming off of Thomas's feet.
Well, Merry Christmas. I mean, that was a freebie.
The Pacers have gone 50% from the field, hitting 3 of 6 since the opening tip. Teague against Bradley. Ellis wide open. Hits it from three-point range. Ellis has got his first 3 points of the game.
Most any NBA player can make you pay when you leave them that wide open. That's why you have to stay alert on defense.
Crowder dishes to Thomas. Crowder kicks to Thomas. In the corner, Crowder with it. Score the basket, his second of 2 attempts.
Really nice dime dropping there. Playmaking ability is exactly what you get from Isaiah Thomas.
And for a long time now, Indiana has protected the rim. It's one of the core elements of their defense and why they are so strong on D every year.
Turner's checked in for Jefferson.
Miles Turner.
And here's George for 3. The rebound by the Celtics. And last year for Indiana, top 3 at protecting the rim. Opponent shot under 50% right at the hoop, Clark.
You know, that number might not sound like a lot, but being under 50% on essentially layups, that's a big deal. Protecting the rim is a huge part of winning basketball.
Here's George. Isaiah Thomas making his last shot, and it's sent back by Horford. And pushing it up, here's Boston. Here's Bradley. Beautiful dish, and the layup goes down. Bradley's got his first points of the game.
And I like how he puts himself in position there to finish on the break.
Yeah, you know, that's what we call seeing and feeling the game. Excellent read of how that play was going to develop and where the ball was going. That's stuff that you oftentimes can't teach, Greg. Now, that was an incredible reverse throwdown right there. Tremendous body control.
I'd even go as far to say, Clark, that was a punctuation dunk. Huh?
I can feel that.
Sending a message.
How about, guys, that's one of those dunks that you probably want in your career highlight reel.
Outside Teague. Young with no one around. That's good, and so Teague with the assist. 6 points here for Thaddeus Young. Last year, a good one for Jeff Teague, Clark. He was a first-time All-Star in this league.
He's a pick-and-roll technician. So good in reading the defense as he operates from that spot on the floor. He was really the catalyst for what was a really efficient offense for the Hawks.
Catching up on the changes now for Indiana. C.J. Miles, he's checked in for Paul George. Stuckey comes in for Ellis. And it's Brooks in for Teague. Stuckey. Oh, that's blocked. Another shot. Miles, that's good. 1:15 left here in the opening quarter. Thomas passes to Bradley. Thomas goes in. And the pass to Horford. Bradley kicks to Thomas. Kicks it out to Bradley. And stolen by Stuckey. Shot from 12. The second chance effort. And he was fouled on the way up. 2 free throws now for him.
How about a look at the Pacers and where they ranked in the NBA last season? 3rd in opponent field goal percentage. 4th in opponent points per game. And they also showed up in the top 5 in team rebounds. That means everybody's doing their job on the boards. This is a very strong rebounding team.
And you mentioned their ranking in terms of opponent field goal percentage. Such an important stat. They did not give up the easy looks. You really had to work for whatever you got.
Johnson, he's checked in for Boston. Bradley. Boston, no good that time either. Indiana leading by 4. Johnson with the block. Out of bounds. Pacers ball as Indiana keeps possession. Olenek is checked in for the Celtics. .32 seconds left to play in the first. Turner with the screen on Bradley. Young in the corner. The 3. It's hauled in by Thomas. Celtics trail by 4. Wide open look. And he knocks down the jumper. Thomas got his second basket of the night. We've got 13 seconds left to play in the first. Down low, here's Turner, and it's good. Assisting on the play was Brooks.
There it is again. On a lot of their possessions this first half, they've established great position inside.
Yeah, just getting the ball into the post. Has to be option.
Here we go, Pacers fans. Now coming on the
Hey, talk to Monte Ellis. He says he feeds off his doubters. He loves to hear someone say what he can't do. And Monte Ellis is still trying to prove people wrong now in Dallas after their quick exit from the playoffs a season ago. Clark, it's been a decade in the league now for this very talented guard.
And you know, that kind of relentless determination is really something Monte is known for, and one of the reasons he has been around for 10 years in the NBA as a consistently good player and lethal. Score.
And the first quarter is in the books. Second about ready to get underway. And a closer look here at the scoring breakdown for Indiana.
And so far, these guys have done a fantastic job finding the opening man and getting some easy baskets.
Something else they've been able to do so far tonight is earn those tough points in the paint.
Teague out there with Ellis. Then there's Al Jefferson. Then it's Turner. And it's George in at the small forward position. So that's the group out there for Indiana. Pacers leading by 4. Last season, the Celtics had a solid 19-22 road record, Clark. Not the 500 mark most teams want, but a very good effort from a young team, and no one really expected that.
Yeah, and you think about this team that's still growing and has a lot of youth. I mean, that kind of road record, very impressive. Their fans should be feeling pretty good about what the future holds with this group.
And it's Bradley off the drive, and the layup is good.
Really aggressive play there, taking it to the rack against the big fella.
You know, Greg, aggressiveness is really the only option when you're on the wrong side of the size equation.
Teague dishes to Jefferson. It's deflected. And up the court come the Celtics on the break. It's stolen by Teague. And now it's Teague running. He can go all the way. And good on the basket. Book it. Teague's got the lead up to 6 now for Indiana.
And he has really come to life here after a slow start in that first quarter. And thinking back on the Celtics, on the road, their away record doesn't tell the whole story. They won their last 7 road games in that tremendous playoff push.
Boston making a switch here. Jerebko's checked in. Thomas passes to Jerebko. Thomas kicks to Crowder. He dishes it to Horford. Boom, he jams it straight down.
And that's how it's done. I mean, find that hole in the D and then go hard to the rack.
Maybe that hole was a little bigger than it should have been.
Well, it was. I mean, a tight game like this one, you think they'd have a little more energy at the defensive end than that.
Shot's good by Turner.
Another away-from-home note for the Celtics. They were 7-1 in road games against the rest of their division. Their road play was the driving factor as to why they made the playoffs.
Got that bucket in no time at all. That's 7 points for Avery Bradley.
Defender there in the neighborhood, but not quite close enough. Good shot.
The shot by Turner, no good. Bradley dishes to Thomas. And Jefferson sends it back. And they're able to recover. And he was fouled on the way up. 2 free throws now for him.
Nice work to get it inside and draw the contact.
Exactly. The defense determined not to allow the easy layup right there. They'll settle for making him earn the free throws.
Mickey's checked in for Jerebko.
And for Big Al Jefferson, he's been a great player in this league, but he hasn't played on that many great teams, and he's never made an all-star team. Hard to imagine.
Boston trailing and pushing it up. Here's Boston. Here's Bradley. Finished off the break. Bradley's got 9 points.
And started hot, and he's only gotten hotter.
George with no one around. That's good, and so Teague with the assist. Teague's got his 7th assist in the game. And taken away by Ellis. And a fast break now for the Pacers. Ellis with the ball. That doesn't go either for Ellis. Here's Horford. Outside for Thomas. And again, Boston with the triple.
And back and forth we go. That bucket gives us another lead change.
Too many of those to count. These teams have matched each other shot for shot, play for play. It has been impressive.
Here's Ellis. Ellis can't get that one to fall either.
And you know what? That's one of those heat checks if he's taking shots like that.
Yeah, heat check or not, I don't care how hot he may or may not be. He's not making that one.
Thomas with the ball. Jefferson picks him up. And Horford wide open. He shoots. And the jumper falls for him. Horford's got 6 in the quarter.
And that's another assist for a team that is putting on a clinic on how to share the ball.
And I love the mentality that they've had. If a shot isn't there, they're not forcing it. They're moving it side to side until they finally get the one they want.
So an entirely new group in now for Indiana. Young's checked in for Jefferson. C.J. Miles comes in for George. Rodney Stuckey's checked in for Ellis. And Brooks subbed in for Jeff Teague. Boston also with the sub. Green's checked in. Young, a good look. And all around the rim that time before dropping in. Young's got 8.
Wow, what a pass there. He made that a very easy basket with that setup.
You know, for the Pacers last season, with Paul George being out for most of the season, they knew it would be a struggle. They would go into lengthy dry spells that made it hard for them to keep pace in the East, in part because they missed Paul George's all-around brilliance and his offense.
And the rebound battle split evenly thus far.
Yeah, tit for tat on the glass. Just one more aspect of what's been a very closely contested ball game here.
Crowder kicks to Thomas. On the wing, Green. Now the Pacers moving it up. Here's Young. And count it. 2 points with a chance for one more at the free throw line. As for those dry spells you mentioned about the Pacers, G8, they had a number of long losing streaks last season.
Yeah, as a team, they had 4 different losing streaks of 6 or more games, and they got hot at the end. Season-high win streak of 6 to stay playoff relevant. It was just too little, too late compared to their losing streaks earlier in the year.
The Celtics have had 2 chances at the line already, making them both. Free throw good from Brown. He's off on the second. Looking at the last game for the Indiana Pacers, it was a loss to the Pistons in Detroit.
Yeah, and that was a night where they just didn't seem to be the type of team that we've grown accustomed to seeing. I mean, it was more about them being individuals on the floor than the collective unit.
Guys, I think it was simply a vacuum of leadership. Nobody really gathered the team and tried to rally them or pull them together. You know, that was most disappointing about the loss to me.
Tyler Zeller's checked in for the Celtics. There's 25 seconds left in the first half of the game. Smart passes to Olynyk. He feeds it to Smart. Olynyk dishes to Green. But he gets it back. And Olynyk kicks to Green. And he gets it to go.
Guys, he's actually indefatigable. He never gives in, never gives up on a play, and that's what it takes to be a great offensive rebounder. He's got to be relentless. You know, there are a lot of bigger power forwards than him in the NBA, but very few that rise up like he can.
Here's Smart. He got it up in time, but it wouldn't fall for him.
Well, guys, I'm here with...
And now, the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Welcome back, everybody. It's the 2K Sports Halftime Show. Ernie Johnson along with Kenny the Jet Smith and Shaquille O'Neal. For the Pacers, the first quarter was pretty even. Their biggest lead during the opening period was 5. The second quarter was dead even in terms of their scoring output for both teams, and they still find themselves in a good position at the half. And that'll do it for now as the second half of our game is...
Here we go now, the start of the third quarter, welcoming you back in a closely contested first half so far.
Been a stellar outing in this one for Young. He's got 13 points, and he's getting it done on the glass, too.
You're right, Clark. He's done some real nice work on the inside.
On the court for the Celtics, Thomas is the point with Bradley to his side. Mickey out there with Jay Crowder. And it's Horford in at the 5, down low. That's in, and the Pacer lead is cut down to just 2 points on the bucket from Thomas.
You got to love the big bucket in the paint in this sort of grinded-out physical game.
That's the kind of look they can continue to go with. Maybe that'll help them create some separation on the scoreboard.
George passes to Young. Jefferson. Horford with the rebound. Horford's got his 5th rebound right now in the game. Thomas dishes to Bradley. Rejected by T. And about a minute of action so far in the 3rd quarter. And there's Al Jefferson on the assist by Teague. Teague's got his 8th assist here tonight.
Great way to start to have easy layup against some soft D.
Well, guys, no secret that Al Jefferson has never been known for his defense. Clark, mostly viewed as an offensive player.
Yeah, he really is strong down in the low post. But last season, Jefferson went out of his way to change that no defense perception of it.
And you know, it's what spurred Jefferson to kind of rededicate to defense when he realized teams would pick on him and make him the focal point of their attack.
Shots good by Ellis.
The screenplay worked ideally there, and I'm not talking about the screenplay you see in a movie theater. Gave him more than enough room to get that shot off.
Celtics passing it around. Mickey kicks it to Horford. No good on the 3.
And for Jefferson and his defense, players know when they are being targeted. So good for Big Al to do something about it.
And there's the slam dunk to finish it off.
Forget about finesse and agility. This big fella's all about power and force.
You know, and Paul George played the first few years of his career in the NBA with 24 on his back. And as you can see, he now goes with 13 after making the switch prior to last year.
Thomas kicks to Horford. There's the screen. Thomas passes to Horford. To the inside. Here's Crowder. Can't get it to go. Excellent D there from George. And with Paul George going at the number 13 now, as you can see, helps with his nickname, PG-13.
Yeah, that's a good nickname, a nice fit. Young Tracy, as he likes to go by on Twitter, he said himself that it was about embracing his stature and stardom in the league. Nice way to do it.
Rejected by Young. George against Bradley. Stolen by Thomas. And up the court come the Celtics on the break. And he caps off the fast break with a monster slam.
Terrific job on both ends of that sequence. Very slick steal and then excellent transition offense.
And really it all stems from the aggressive defense. That's exactly what the doctor ordered. And guys, as much as Isaiah Thomas can help you on offense, at times he can hurt you on the defensive side. Immediately posted up by whomever he's guarding, you have to give help. And of course, that leaves your defense vulnerable, particularly on the weak side and controlling that defensive backcourt.
Let's catch up with Doris from the sideline.
Kevin, I was able to hear the advice Frank Vogel gave to his team during that last break. Young was the focus of the discussion, and he wants their offense to run through him. Coach is calling on him to play a big role in the offense for the rest of this game, to really be one of the key guys for them down the stretch. Probably a good time to make some changes with a good chunk of the second half still to go, Kevin.
All right, Doris, thank you very much. Greg, you're talking about Isaiah Thomas before. Certainly his short stature limits him on Clark, the defensive side.
Yeah, but you know what? He doesn't rack up a ton of steals, given his instincts and quickness. I think he really focuses on making his impact at the offensive end.
Bradley drives in. There's the feed to Crowder. Puts up a 3. Bradley can't get it to go.
Well, he had one three-pointer in the first half, but so far in the second, he's come up with goose eggs.
A nice shot by George.
And really, this is the time to push it. Try to extend that lead.
I agree with you. I mean, anytime you can push things forward, as you approach the end of the third quarter. It puts you in good position for that last quarter, which we all know is crunch time.
Turner's checked in for Indiana. Stuckey comes in for Ellis. Thomas dishes to Horford. Back to Thomas. Played in with a nice touch off the glass. Thomas got 11 points.
Give an assist there, not for the pass, but for the solid screen set on the inside that freed him up and made the layup possible.
Stuckey kicks to George. Young sets a screen for George. Goes up and lays it nice and easy. George has got the lead back up to 9 now for the Pacers. Boston's gotten blank from three-point land so far in the third. Still 0 for 3. And stolen by Stuckey. We've got 1:28 left in the third quarter. Teague with a clean look. A chance there to push it to double digits, but it's off the mark. Outside Thomas. To the paint. Six to shoot. Here's Mickey. That one falls, coming off of Thomas's feet. Thomas got assist number 5 here tonight.
That's their third straight make off an assist.
Great ball movement.
Young, a screen on Bradley. Teague drives in, and it's blocked. And that'll be Indiana as it goes out of bounds. Pacers retain possession. And some changes here for the Pacers. C.J. Miles comes in for George. And Brooks subbed in for Teague. Olynyk, he's checked in for Boston. Here's Miles. Some nice passing here by Indiana. And good on the basket. Took it. Young's got the lead up to 9 now for Indiana.
Sensational pass. Even in mid-shot, he still saw the open man.
Bradley passes to Crowder. Outside for Thomas. Lets it go with the 3. Rodney Stuckey pulls it in. Indiana's gone 3 of 7 tonight from three-point territory. 7-second difference, shot and game clock. Shoots from the baseline. Crowder pulls it in.
Well, that's a very low percentage shot. Not good basketball at all. One he probably should have passed on.
Stolen by Miles. And here we go with Brooks running it up the court. There's the basket and make it a double-digit lead. And the Pacers lead by 11.
Such a strong finisher on the fast break.
And Greg, I love the fact he's always in control. Even though he's going at breakneck speed, he still maintains his body control.
And now, let's hear it for your Pace fans.
And we're rolling here again with the fourth quarter. Might not come down to the wire, but you never know. Pacers leading by 11. A moment now to reset the lineups, brought to us by Gatorade. All fueled up here for the fourth quarter. On the court for Indiana, they've got C.J. Miles. Jefferson is out there with Turner. Then there's Ellis. And it's Brooks in at the 1. Thomas inside. Brooks covering. It's stolen by Jefferson. On the wing, Ellis fires from the corner, and it's good. Assisting on the play was Brooks. 9 points for Ellis. And breaking down some numbers here, the hustle stats for the Pacers.
The activity level defensively, I've really been impressed with. There's been an attack mode on the defensive end.
They've worked hard tonight at crashing the boards as well. They've had a bunch of second chance points.
Bradley against Brooks. And it's Turner off the drive. They get it back. Jefferson's shot is off.
And the fadeaway was the only option he had on that one. Defender there all over.
Here's Crowder. The three-pointer off the mark. Indiana leading by 11. Brooks outside. And the foul on Avery Bradley. That is his first foul of the game.
I mean, that's a tough break for the D. I mean, he took the hit and drew the whistle.
Yeah, but he was late to get there, Greg, so the referee couldn't give him a free pass on that one.
Looking at who's out there now for the Pacers. Paul George comes in for Turner. And it's Teague in for Brooks. Celtics trail by 11. It's stolen by Teague. Now here comes Teague leading the break. And he banks in the layup.
It's as if the defense just let him go.
He'll thank them for that because he got a chance to perform a little razzle-dazzle on that one.
Crowder dishes to Horford. Stolen by Miles. And here come the Pacers again. Indiana with the fast break. And count it, the shot is good. He'll go to the free throw line.
Pedal to the metal right now, really pushing.
And 3 of their last 5 makes here coming in transition. First off, look, every year there are all-star game snubs, and perhaps last year Monte Ellis was the big one in the West. Hard to leave him off given the way he played for the Mavs.
Pacers leading by 16. Passes it to Miles. Outside Teague. The dish to Jefferson. He kicks it to Miles. No good. And it's Boston the other way. The Wizards on the road to face them after this game. That game will be a quick pit stop before hitting the road again. Right side Thomas. Misses off the left iron.
And not a night he's going to want to remember, just not really able to score the basketball.
Here's Miles. Miles with another miss. Celtics trail by 16. Clark, they've been looking out of sync offensively.
You know what? A basket here would do a lot for their confidence.
Teague with the ball. Now guarded by Smart. And George gets it to go.
It's been said often that good defense leads to offense, and that's what we're seeing here with all these points off turnovers.
And guys, one thing to force turnovers, but also important that you make the teams pay when you're able to create those.
Thomas kicks to Green. Back to Thomas. Feeds to Zeller. That one falls coming off of Thomas's feed. And the Pacers with possession here. Here in the fourth, they've allowed just 4 points.
Timeout charge to the Pacers.
Time called here. Indiana decides to talk it over. Well, last year, Tyler Zeller both started and came off the bench, showed he could be an effective player even when playing heavy minutes.
Yeah, and if you look at the games that he played as a starter, he increased his usage, and it didn't bother his production at all.
The Pacers making a change here. Young's checked in. Teague, the pass to Young.
And for a power forward, he can sure get up. I mean, because of that leaping ability, it kind of offsets his height disadvantage.
And the replay, of course, presented by Kia. What a play. Pass to Mickey. Back to Thomas. Clock at 6. Here's Mickey. Teague covering. Boston needs to get off a shot. And the basket by Horford.
And a sharp pass to set up that high percentage shot in close.
Pacers leading by 16. And the call will be against Jeff Teague. That is his first foul of the game.
Yeah, first turnover of the game. Overall, though, he's been rock solid.
Outside Thomas. Knocked away. Pass to Horford. Crowder dishes to Horford. Baseline J on the way. Shot by Crowder, no good.
The defense better not make a habit of giving him that shot. I mean, he doesn't miss many of them.
Screen by Jefferson. Down low. Here's Young. And that comes off the assist by Jeff Teague. 20 points here for Thaddeus Young.
And really, I like the fact that even with the big lead, they never coasted.
To me, that's a sign of a really good team, Greg, because you should always be playing against the game and yourself. I know there's an opponent out there, but when you have a lead, it's all about continuing to execute. Do what you do and stay true to that. And I like that aggressiveness and full speed ahead kind of attack that they had.
Well, guys, this was never really a contest, just a total obliteration, if you will. And you can safely say mission accomplished now for Indiana.
Agreed, Steve, and as one-sided as it gets today. You know, Clark, there were some dominant moments in there about every facet of this game for that team.
You're right, Kevin. It's hard to think of anything that didn't go right for them. I mean, game planning by the coaches, execution by the players, everything was spot on.
And every win important, and this one will go
It's the 2K Sports pregame show.
Early season's greetings.
It's Friday night, and live on 2K Sports, we're going to bring you the NBA in all its excitement. Along with Greg Anthony and Clark Kellogg, this is Kevin Harlan. This Boston crowd ready to roar in this Eastern Conference matchup for the Celtics. This their first look at this year's Washington squad. They lost the season series last year, winning 1 and losing 2.
And this game kicks off a 4-game season series between the two teams.
Two conference foes, guys, looking to take game 1 tonight. It's very interesting to see who can land the first blow.
So a look at the starters for the Wizards. The great pair of Wall and Beal are at the guard spots. Otto Porter Jr. out there with Smith. And it's Gortat in at the pivot spot, manning the middle.
Oh, that is just weak defense there. I'm pretty sure that was not the plan to give him those kind of baskets at the hoop.
Here's Mickey. Back to Thomas. It's Bradley on the wing. 5 on the clock. Back to Thomas. The Celtics need to get a shot off. That's good. Horford's got his first bucket of the night.
You know, one of the things, guys, that impressed me about the Celtics was the number of assists they had. I mean, they really focused on moving the ball. And when you do that and you have shot makers, the assists pile up.
Thomas against Wall. Off to a good start as he hits his first shot attempt.
Not fazed at all by having a bigger defender on him down low, and I really thought he would be.
You know, at first glance, you wouldn't think that he'd be comfortable in that particular situation, but, boy, I tell you what, he didn't look like he was out of his element at all right there.
And really did the only thing he could in terms of getting that shot off, leaned into his space, and got a bucket.
Bradley passes to Thomas. 17-foot shot on the way.
The shot's there for him, and he's got to take it. I don't care if he doesn't convert. That's a shot he has to continue to take.
And Wall kicks to Porter. And he misses the go-ahead basket. The Celtics have gone 3 of 4 from the field to start out the game. Thomas against Beal. Thomas dishes to Crowder. Thomas passes to Crowder. Pulls it up. That's good from Thomas on the assist from Crowder.
4 or 5 shots have dropped for them already. Not a bad way to get things started.
Smith with a screen on Bradley. And Wall kicks to Smith. The feed to Porter. For the 3. The shot no good.
Well, the defense recognized how dangerous he is out there and got right up on him. Didn't give him any space.
Here's Bradley. Rebound by Smith.
Man, that is a missed opportunity right there.
And he'll be the first to tell you, Greg, that's one he should have knocked down.
Wall against Thomas. Inside. And so he draws the foul on the shot. A trip to the line to shoot 2. And the thing, Greg, about Marcin Gortat, he's not a high flyer. He's not a super flexible athlete. But he's one of the best centers in the league because he's tough. And he's worked hard on developing his skills. And he always hustles.
Yeah, and he fights for position down low. A terrific screener. Does a lot of that dirty work And he's also very good at passing the basketball. You know, a lot more skilled, particularly in the pick and roll, than maybe people give him credit for. He can hurt a defense in a surprising number of ways.
Now Porter, after Isaiah Thomas missed from long range. Now here's Bradley, the fast break opportunity. Shot is off. Nice D from Wall.
That's really too easy a chance to miss, guys. He needs to be more aggressive and focused on his finishes. Talking about Gortat, he was a late second-round draft choice in 2005. His first 4 years in the league, highly underwhelming. Now, over the last 4 years, he's averaged around 13 points, 9 rebounds, and 1.5 blocks per game. Those are good numbers.
And they call over the back here. Too much contact.
Yeah, not afraid of the physical play, but he still needs to stay under control.
Yeah, he obviously was not under control right there. Not much doubt he was going to get whistled for the over-the-back call.
Johnson, he's checked in for Mickey. The Wizards also changing it up. Mahimi's checked in for Gortat. And it's Thornton in for Otto Porter Jr.
And with that speed, once he took off, the D just had no chance of getting back.
Well, I think they did the right thing. I mean, just give up the 2 points and move forward. Hey, discretion is the better part of valor sometimes. Write that one down, game players. Discretion is the better part of valor.
And getting back to Marcin Gortat, his dad was a successful light heavyweight boxer in Poland, so clearly you see where the toughness comes from. And Marcin's mom was on the Polish national team in volleyball, so you know where the blocking and ball skills come from. I guess we'd have to call him a chip off the old blocks.
.116 left in the first quarter. Wizards passing it around. Here's Burke. Buries the long-range jumper. Burke's got his first bucket of the game, and he's on the board for 3. So for the Wizards, their last game, a win against the San Antonio Spurs.
And it goes back to what's been their strength, really, on the interior. From a defensive standpoint, they just defended the rim as well as you could.
Yeah, I thought it was really impressive the way they did it, guys. They were alert, they were active, they were aware, and their reaction to shots was outstanding.
Now Burke, after Isaiah Thomas missed from long range. 4 on the clock. Burke can't get it to go.
And with room like that off the pick, you have got to knock that one down.
Well, you know, they did everything right, Greg. They executed. All you want is a good look at the basket. Sometimes the shots just don't fall. Really nice dime dropping there. Playmaking ability is exactly what you get from Isaiah Thomas.
Mahimi's shot is good.
Well, I tell you what, the post play has been rock solid right off the bat.
It really has, and they've created a lot of high percentage shots in the paint here already.
Now here's Crowder, guarded closely. Outside for Thomas. Again, Thomas missing. And Amir Johnson re-signed in Toronto. He's been a big part of this team for years, and he talked about their great fan support in Toronto. A lot of fans south of the border in the U.S. are surprised when they learn how passionate, Clark, the fans in Toronto can be.
You know, Kevin, that's so true. I mean, when they get it going at the Air Canada Center, that place rocks. And it's great to hear Amir talk about how that pumps him up and makes him want to do it for Canada.
Well, up to this point, a closely contested game as we start the second quarter. And when you consider how the Celtics are doing, guys, what jumps out to you stats-wise?
It's been about the pace. You can see they're going to try to keep this game in the open floor.
Yeah, and, you know, it's been a tempo that they like, and they're getting some easy buckets in transition here.
And now, brought to you by Gatorade, all fueled up and ready to go. Let's reset our lineups. So, the Wizards 5 right now. Porter is out there with Jason Smith. Then there's Ian Mahimi. Then there's Trey Burke. And it's Thornton in at the 2. Boston shooting their second and third free throws tonight.
And they were 75% from the line a season ago.
And the Celtics making a change here. Brown's checked in. Nicholson's checked in for Washington. Ball comes in for Trey Burke. Despite an overall strong year in 2015 for the Wizards, they were pretty weak at times, Clark, on the road.
Managed only 17 wins away from home, tied the Pelicans for the fewest road wins for any team that actually made the playoffs last year.
Here's Brown after the basket by Washington.
And, you know, coaches just love players who they can count on to give that effort defensively.
And he clearly is one of those guys, Greg. We saw it right there. Nice work forcing that miss.
It's Wall with the drive. Smith dishes to Nicholson. Hits some rim on the way in, and the bucket's good.
Give credit where credit is due right there. A terrific assist.
And here's Brown outside. Rebound by the Wizards. And here in the second with about a minute and a half gone by. Here's Porter. That's good. And so Wall with the assist. Now it's a 4-point Wizards lead. So the Celtics called timeout. They're first. Defeated by the Pacers in their last game, they'll try to put that one behind them.
Probably their poorest defensive effort all season long. I mean, at home, that kind of beat is not going to cut it. Never mind when you're on the road.
Hey, I don't know, guys. This may be all speculation. Perhaps they had a bad flight into town the night before, and we all know a rough flight in can lead to turbulence on the court.
The Celtics shooting around 40% from the floor here. It's Brown with the drive. It's stolen by Smith. Wall against Brown. No one near Wall as he lets it go. And too long on the shot. Celtics trail by 4. In the corner, Horford with it. Boston again missing.
You're not going to see that very often. Plenty of space, but he just, let's face it, he whiffs on that.
For Boston, they've gone 0-3 and are still looking for that first bucket here in the second quarter.
And guys, the wheels really fell off of Marcus Thornton's game last year. This was a deadly shooter who averaged over 21 points a game only a few seasons ago. But last season, under double figures at 9 per contest.
They really want to find that igniter here.
Yeah, that's right. Kevin, the offense has basically been running in place.
They got to get going. Now here is Horford. He's coming off a 10-point game against the Pacers in Indianapolis.
Yeah, but his shot blocking was a factor as well. 3 on the game, just a major presence on the D. And the rebound and the follow show you what he is all about. Gritty and determined with a soft touch to match.
So timeout called here. The first for Washington. On the topic of Thornton, Greg, last season he wasn't all bad. He did hit, a career-high 42% of his threes. Clark, the problem is he didn't provide anything else.
Yeah, he's an Allen wrench. He's a specialist. I mean, he's never been a great playmaker, rebounder, or defender. His money is made with his jump shot.
Nicholson's shot is off.
You can see he just rushed that a little bit. Lost the focus, I think.
Let's catch up with Doris from the sideline.
Thank you, guys. I got a chance to hear what Randy Whitman was saying to the team. He made no mistake that their game plan was to run their offense through Wall. Coach reminded his guys that he is the centerpiece of their offense, and he's the one they want with the most freedom to operate. So, Kevin, changes already being made on the fly here in the second quarter.
Thank you, Doris. Now, here's Thornton. A 14-point game for him in the win against San Antonio. Gortat, the pass to Porter. And there's the whistle. It's going to go on Andrew Nicholson. That is his first foul of the game.
It seems that every pass they make is leading to a score here. I mean, that's just exquisite ball movement.
And that's because the ball is looking for the best shot, and it's really paid off for them during the run.
Here's what Boston's going with right now. Olynyk comes in for Al Horford. And it's Gerald Green in for Avery Bradley. The Celtics really seem to get better as last season wore on, too. GA finished the year looking very dangerous.
Kevin, with the Celtics, they were dynamite after the All-Star break. Had the second-best record in the Eastern Conference post-All-Star.
Here's Washington now. They're on a 14-4 run. There's a screen by Gortat. Burke kicks to Morris. It's good. The assist that time from Burke. Morris has got the lead. Back up to 10 now for the Wizards. Green with the ball. Now Beal defending. We've got 1:18 left to play in the first half. Here's Crowder. No good. And the Wizards now going the other way.
And that's the battle they haven't been winning today. Their work on the glass has been porous, and that's got to change.
Yeah, no question about it. I mean, as they're looking to battle back, that's one of the key elements. You got to rebound.
The drive by Green takes the three, and the basket by Olynyk.
Boy, they're getting a bunch more threes up here in the second quarter.
Yeah, and they're getting trigger happy. You can't win the game with one shot. You've got to vary it up, challenge the defense.
To the wing on the left. Here's Burke. They get it back, and Gortat kicks to Burke. From outside, off the mark.
Not able to find it here in the second. He's off stride and off track just a bit after that one he had earlier.
Nice ball movement by Boston. Thomas with the ball. Guarded now by Morris. There's a whistle, and it goes on Isaiah Thomas. That's his first foul.
Oh, great defense there. Anticipated the play and got there first.
And not afraid to put his body on the line either, Greg. He took a shot for the team in that situation.
Here's what Boston's going with right now. Marcus Smart's checked in for Jay Crowder. And it's Rozier in for Isaiah Thomas. And a switcher also for Washington. Mahimi's checked in. Olynyk dishes to Green. Let's go. Breaks a big high toss and goes in. Here's Beal. And you can count it. He'll go to the line with a chance to make it three.
Oh, boy. Woo-hoo. Sweet move. Tough finish. What a play.
And this is his first trip to the line tonight. Brown. Shot misses. And we finished one half of...
Bradley, it's certain.
The 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Hello again, everybody. Ernie Johnson here, joined by Shaquille O'Neal and Kenny the Jet Smith. A pretty close game for the Wizards throughout the first quarter. Nothing seemed to give way on either side. And now, folks, it's just about time for the third.
And as we welcome you back, we begin our second half. So far, not a tightly contested game, guys, but, you know, anything can happen. Smart is out there with Gerald Green. Then it's Kelly Olynyk. Then there's Brown. And it's Horford in at center. That's the group for Brad Stevens getting going here in the second half. Celtics trail by 12. Green kicks to Smart. Wall with the steal. Here's Beal. And it's going to be 2 free throws. Drew contact on the shot. The thing about Bradley Beal, when he suits up, the entire lineup becomes exponentially more potent. Quick, powerful athlete, Greg, high basketball IQ, had the great teaching at Florida, carries it to the NBA. Opponents have to account for him, I think, on both ends of the floor.
And that's a great point, Kevin. I mean, coming out of college, a lot of people compared him to Ray Allen. I mean, he possesses that next level smoothness and body control that's often indicative of a true difference maker.
Good.
Well, we've seen that movie a few times, haven't we? An easy bucket in the paint.
Well, listless and lifeless at the defensive end. I mean, especially inside. They've really got to pick up that interior defense.
Smart misses.
And, going back to Bradley Beal, the bottom line is he's a winner. Last year, the Wizards went 8-9 with Beal out of the lineup. Hard to argue with those facts and numbers.
Celtics trail by 16. Clark, some tough offensive sets. They want to turn it around.
Yeah, they need a basket just to regain some momentum here, Kevin.
Brown, the pass to Smart. The shot's good. Brown making the play. Smart's got himself going with the triple, his first basket of the game.
And when you talk about Bradley Beal, it's not just having him in the lineup that matters. It's having him at his best. When he's at 100% health, there are very few guards in the league who can keep up with him. Truly one of the game's great young talent.
A moment to check in with Doris Burke. Doris?
Thank you, guys. I got a chance to hear what Randy Whitman was saying to the team. He made no mistake that their game plan was to run their offense through Wall. Their offense is most effective, Coach said, when he is most involved. And they're looking for total involvement from him for the rest of this game. There's still plenty of basketball left to play, and as we watch how these adjustments play out, Kev, it'll be interesting.
Thanks again, Doris.
1 for 4 from the field since halftime. They're having a tough time getting it going here.
Here's Gortat, and he throws it down hard with one hand.
and he bangs down the one-hander.
2 very easy points right there for sure.
He'll take those all day.
Mickey gets to the rim for 2 with the D all over him.
And he'll take it right into the teeth of the D without thinking twice about it.
Beal dishes the wall. Second half of play with just under 2.5 minutes gone. Smith outside. 5 on the clock. Gortat wide open. He fires. Had the space there, but it's offline. Washington's offense last year looked solid on paper, but in reality, it was much tougher to defend against. They could hurt you in a number of ways.
And the Wizards, Kevin, could get you in transition, but they could also, as you mentioned, they could get you with their half-court sets. Top 10 in field goal percentage as well as three-point percentage last season.
And, you know, for the Wizards, it wasn't just how they scored, but who scored. I mean, they ended the season with all 5 starters averaging double-digit points, and that's a rarity.
Looking at who's out there now for the Wizards. Andrew Nicholson, he's checked in for Gortat. And it's Thornton in for Bradley Beal. Austin with the ball, following the bucket by the Wizards. Again, the miss by the Celtics.
And thinking back to the Wizards having all of their starting 5 scoring in double digits last year, those are the kinds of teams that coaches hate to plan against. Any given night, one of them can step up and hurt you, and you just couldn't plan for where their points were going to come from. And John Wall, guys, is still one of the most explosive players in the league. His speed makes professional athletes look like they are stuck in mud.
Boston making some changes. Zeller, he's checked in for Horford. And it's Green in for Mickey. And a change for the Wizards. Mahimi's checked in for Smith. Now here's Bradley. He dishes it to Zeller. Porter against Green. Here's Bradley. Washington with the rebound. You're talking about Wall's burst. He can go end to end in seconds. Clark, you're amazed. You said he's a...
The 2K Sports pregame show. Welcome, everyone, to this 2K Sports broadcast live in Milwaukee at BMO Harris Bradley Center. So for the Celtics, their last game, a loss to the Wizards. You know, guys, you hate to get embarrassed on your home court, but that's exactly what happened. It was a tough loss for them.
And you don't have to go too deep into the box score to figure out why they lost that one. They just had an inability on that day to make shots.
You know, sometimes we talk about a defense getting into the heads of the opposing players, Greg, but that night they got up in their own head, just got in their own way and couldn't get out of it.
We've got a chance here to set the floor, courtesy of Gatorade, all fueled up and ready to go for this one. On the floor for Boston, we've got Brown. Mickey out there with Horford.
Then it's Thomas, and it's Smart in at the shooting guard position. Parker kicks to Carter Williams. Stolen by Smart. And a fast break now for the Celtics. Up the floor. And it's Brown missing. Well, the Bucks made huge strides as a team last season. Greg, most of it came from them establishing themselves as a top-tier defensive team.
And Kevin, as you know, that's really where it starts for all the elite teams. And the Bucks defensively were very strong. You look at the metrics that measure a lot of the defensive categories. Bucks finished with the second-best defensive rating in the NBA.
Here's Brown. Jabari Parker making his last shot. That's good.
And, you know, it took them a while to get going, but they finally connected now on their fourth shot of the game.
Middleton outside. So first quarter just over a minute and a half in. Shot clock at 5. Good for the basket. Starting off 1 for 1 with that shot. For Boston, they've gone just 1 of 4 to get this game started. Thomas kicks to Horford. Now here's Smart, defended by Middleton. Horford misses from close range.
Really just struggling here in the first few minutes. 5 attempts with only 1 falling.
Middleton the pass to Parker. Unloads from 13. And Horford pulls it down. Boston off to a slow start. 4-point game. They're getting their first look of the season at the Bucks in this one.
And they lost the season series against this squad last year, so trying to bounce back here tonight.
Yeah, and 2 mid-tier teams trying to get a leg up in the conference, guys. We'll see what happens.
Here's Boston now. Inside. And a beautiful feed leads to a monster jam.
You know, he's not your typical NBA center in terms of height, guys, but he plays as big as any of them, thanks to his incredible bounceability.
Now here's Monroe. He's coming off a 13-point game against Brooklyn.
And what a double-double machine Greg Monroe is becoming. Top 6 for power forwards last season. Top 5 for centers. And his game is only continuing to evolve.
And really, how about the quick release on that triple there, because he's given up a lot of height in that matchup.
Right on target you are, Greg. I mean, the quick release is what made the difference there. Any hesitation, and that shot is being blocked.
And finished off by Brown.
Now, that was pretty. That was just a nice-looking reverse jam right there.
Use the rim, Clark, to protect the ball, I think, too, a little bit.
Yeah, did a nice job with it.
And guys, how about the awareness there with that finish in traffic?
That's good. Monroe's got his second bucket of the game to go. Well, Greg, the thing about Monroe, we knew he was a prolific scorer and a rebounder when he was a 5-star recruit out of high school. So Clark, this is nothing new for him.
I think what you see, Kevin, is the added muscle coming into play and benefiting. He's just an average athlete, but being stronger makes him more effective.
And some changes here for the Bucks. John Henson's checked in for Monroe. Mirza Teletovic comes in for Parker, and it's Matthew Dellavedova in for Michael Carter-Williams. And a change for the Celtics. Kelly Olynyk's checked in for Al Horford. The Celtics shooting their first free throws of this one. The first free throw is good. And Brown drops them both. Bucks trail by 3. 1:58 left here in the first quarter. Middleton left side. And it's good, assisting on the play with Dellavedova.
A lot of space right there to get that shot off.
Not a very good job of the defender getting over the top of that screen in that particular play.
Boston, no good that time either. The Bucks have gone 5 of 8 from the field, shooting over 62%, and stolen by Thomas. 1:30 left here in the first quarter. Smart wide open, he fires. Good on the triple. And a moment here to take a look at some of the hustle stats for the Celtics.
Well, I think the defensive aggressiveness on display here has caught him off guard, playing airtight defense and coming up with the steals.
And also defensively, they've been able to cause some turnovers tonight, and that also builds confidence and gives you momentum.
The Bucks working the ball around. Just 4 to shoot.
Here's Antetokounmpo. It's hauled in by Brown.
And no excuse there for missing that one after being freed up by a great pick.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, they came away empty, but they got the look they wanted, and really, I like the movement and communication there. Boy, they've gone on this run, and ball movement has been a big key.
It really has, Clark. The defense unable to react as quickly as necessary in terms of dealing with their passing.
Now here's Middleton. He picked up 12 points in their last win against Brooklyn. Antetokounmpo kicks to Henson. Mickey grabs the board.
That's the kind of D you need when he's got the ball near the hoop. They were all over.
Now here's Thomas. Defense is right there. Mickey can't hit.
Oh, that's a tough three-point try when you've got the defense right there.
Well, he'd have to be really good to knock down a shot like that against that kind of defense.
Here's Middleton, and so he draws the foul on the shot. A trip to the line to shoot two. This is his first chance at the line tonight.
And when you shoot 86 from the line like he did last season, you usually cash in on those opportunities.
Yeah, that's a great asset to have, guys, for any team. Coming down the stretch in close games, you've got a guy who's confident and very good at the line. When he steps up there, you feel good about it.
Buried from outside. But I don't know. I think we may see a review here. That was pretty close. And it looks like they are going to review the play. The question, did he get the basket off in time?
And honestly, guys, in real time, I couldn't really see.
And we heard from John Henson before the game, a player on the rise. He feels he still has a lot to prove. Well, it sounds like he still feels like he has something to prove, Greg, but seems to me he's already known for being that kind of guy.
That's a great point. Anybody who plays against him knows he looks plenty strong when you're banging with him. But if he needs to push and motivate himself by playing with a chip on his shoulder, well, a lot of guys have gone a long, long way in this league using that method.
Now the second quarter getting ready to start up. And what do you guys think about Boston here in this one?
They've been a well-oiled machine offensively thus far.
They've kept the ball moving, Greg, and their opponents chasing after it. That's how they've piled up all the points.
Michael Carter-Williams is out there with Matthew Dellavedova. Then it's Jabari Parker. Then there's Mirza Teletovic. And it's Plumlee in at the 5, roaming the pace. So that's who Milwaukee starts the second one.
What a smart pass by Carter-Williams right there. Fellas, I'll tell you, I was really surprised when Michael Carter-Williams got traded last season. It's so hard to find point guards with his length and instincts. I mean, you just have to wonder what's going on in Philly.
Parker's shot is off.
And fancy finishes like that look great, but, man, it's embarrassing when you blow them.
Thomas, it's a wide open look, and it... goes out of bounds. And last touch by Carter-Williams. Craig Monroe. He's checked in for Milwaukee. Fires top of the key. That one off the back iron and out. On the subject of Michael Carter-Williams, his assists went up last season. His rebounds went up last season as well. But, Greg, the one thing he can't seem to lock down is his shooting stroke.
Yeah, last season hitting just 38% from the field. You expect more out of him at this stage. But remember, this is a young player, and oftentimes your field goal percentage isn't necessarily a reflection of your ability to make shots, but more so your ability to take good ones. So shot selection, I think, plays a role for him as well.
Here's Dellavedova. We saw him with 10 points last game. Here's the 3. Kept alive.
And it doesn't even matter that he's surrounded on that possession. He's got the size to pull those boards down anyway.
And the whistle blows. It's going to be on Jabari Parker. That's his first foul.
Yeah, clearly he had an established position there.
Yeah, and I like this call because you want the refs in that situation. If there's any doubt, err on the side of giving the benefit of the doubt to the offensive player. That should have been a block, and it was.
Henson's checked in for Mirza Teletovic. And then for Boston, Tyler Zeller comes in for Al Horford. And Jerebko is subbed in for Bradley. Henson sets a screen for Carter Williams. Henson with the screen. From the wing, Carter Williams with the bucket.
And Jason Kidd has seen a lot of things in his first few years of coaching. Already changed teams once and had some personnel issues, but you cannot deny that he knows how to get the most out of his team.
Green inside the three-point line. That's good. And it's Thomas picking up the assist. Thomas got his 4th assist in this one. Bucks trail by 3. Carter Williams kicks to Parker. He dishes it to Monroe. That's good. Monroe's got 6. And with Kidd, the results on the floor, Greg, speak for themselves. He knows what he wants out of his players, Clark, and he keeps them accountable.
And, you know, having that accountability is what made the Bucks so much better last season. Kidd is still a very young head coach, but I tell you what, he's shown me a bright future in that capacity for himself.
Thomas dishes to Zeller. And there's the whistle. Fouled hard on the shot. He'll go to the line. That one on Monroe.
Yeah, good job to take it right at them.
Yeah, really left him no choice there, Greg. I mean, he had to foul and keep him from converting the easy bucket.
And the Bucks with some changes. Giannis Antetokounmpo comes in for Jabari Parker. And Middleton subbed in for Matthew Dellavedova. The Celtics also changing it up. Mickey's checked in for Jerebko. Brown comes in for Jay Crowder. And Marcus Smart is subbed in for Green. Carter Williams the pass to Monroe. And that misses. That would have put him up.
No one to blame on that one but himself. You get looks like that, you've got to take it there.
Brown, good.
His ball distribution tonight just as good as it gets.
Yeah, it sure has been. I mean, all you have to do is look at the numbers. There's no lying in those totals.
And here is Antetokounmpo. 23 points for him the last game against Brooklyn.
Yeah, and he also did a great job on the backboards, Kev, and that also was a factor.
Middleton drives in, missed inside.
And Isaiah Thomas, traded last season from Phoenix over to Boston, seemed to be a matter of fit and not production as to why they moved him.
Guys, they're looking for a way to score here.
Yeah, they've had a tough time getting the lid off the basket so far.
The shot's good from Henson.
They have repeatedly probed inside in the first half, guys, and it's paid dividends.
And with as many points as they've gotten in the paint, you know, they haven't had to do much work on the perimeter.
Thomas outside, and that one's good. Thomas got the lead up to 6 now for Boston.
You know, one aspect of their play today that's really been tight and far superior is their passing.
And that kind of flow can be elusive, but the great offenses have it, and that's just what they've shown here tonight.
Went for the two-hander on that slam. That's where the weight room comes into play, Kevin.
I think some urgency from him there.
I think he's sensing that this is a critical time in the game, fellas.
Plumlee, he's checked in for Milwaukee.
Yeah, saw some things that just weren't working for them and wants to make some adjustments.
Yeah, and no reason to wait around to do that, Greg. I mean, might as well make those adjustments right away.
So the Celtics called timeout. They're first. Mark, when you take a look at John Henson, you see one thing, length.
Yeah, a lot of it, too. I mean, he measures 6'9" with a 7'5" wingspan at the 2012 NBA Combine. His standing reach is actually 3.5 inches greater than that of Anthony Davis. Wow.
Wow is right. Here's what Boston's going with right now. Al Horford, he's checked in for Zeller. Crowder comes in for Brown. And Bradley's subbed in for Smart. Thomas kicks to Crowder. No good. Great D that time for Middleton. Bucks trail by 3. Just 1 second between the shot clock and game clock. No one near Henson as he lets it go. And a great assist by Carter Williams as that one goes in.
And he came off that screen, and the D just didn't get over the top of it.
Yep, weren't there in time enough to challenge, Greg. And when that's the case, you can mark those up for him. Now that was pretty. That was just a nice looking reverse jam right there.
Use the rim, Clark, to protect the ball, I think, too, a little bit.
Yeah, did a nice job with it.
And guys, how about the awareness there with that finish in traffic?
Thomas can't get it to go. And we're through.
And now, the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Hello again, everybody. Ernie Johnson here alongside Kenny, the Jet Smith, and Shaquille O'Neal. We'll be looking back at the game's first half. Boston found themselves in a close game in the first. The biggest lead for them during the period was 6. They were outscored by just a bit in the second quarter as they go into the break now holding just a 1-point advantage. Kenny, what's your take on Boston so far?
Well, their passing was impressive. They're in a good position to win this game, in large part because of those assists. And this is the thing. You win as a team in this league. You have to share the basketball to succeed. And if they carry that level of unselfishness in the second half, they're going to be tough to beat.
And you, big fella, let's get your thoughts on the Bucks.
Well, it was a huge first half for their bench, a.k.a. the others. Played pretty good. When you get a boost like this, it always gives the team a lift. And given how well they...
And that'll wrap up our halftime show, the third.
We have a close ball game on our hands as we get set for the second half of basketball. You gotta like what John Henson has done in this game.
Yeah, created a lot of quality shots for himself in that first half, and he knew when to pass it up when the double team came.
And that led to a very high points per shot number for him. For those of you that are into analytics, that stat really tells how efficient a player has been, and he's been very efficient so far.
Second half underway. Here's who Brad Stevens got on the floor. Brown out there with Mickey. Then there's Smart. Then there's Horford. And it's Thomas in at the point. And here's Brown outside. Out of bounds. Celtics ball as Boston keeps possession. Thomas kicks to Brown. Stolen by Middleton. Feeds to Parker. Dishes it to Antetokounmpo. Carter Williams the pass to Parker. And a great assist by Carter Williams as that one goes in. Carter Williams has got 4 assists now tonight. It was a tough battle down the stretch, but the Celtics were able to get back into the playoffs last year.
And kind of just hovering around all season, but give them credit. They fought their way in and spent only 1 year out of the postseason in their rebuild.
And he's able to get it back. Monroe's shot is good.
They're doing a really good job of getting the ball inside and attacking the paint. That's an area they have completely dominated.
Well, once they recognized the advantage they had inside, it made a lot of sense just to continue to attack that area.
And plenty of contact on the shot, so 2 free throws coming up.
And, you know, for the Celtics, the actual playoff series didn't go well. They got swept by the Cavaliers, but most people will remember the injuries from the series more than the play, and the Celtics have a bright future, no doubt.
Well, listen, it was a forgettable series for Celtics fans. However, the Celtics' young core were able to experience postseason basketball. That's something that you can really never replicate. I'm sure they'll be hungry for more of it, and credit Brad Stevens on a terrific job.
Celtics passing it around. Here's Smart. Again, the miss by the Celtics.
They have yet to hit a shot, a real slow start here in the second half.
Here's Parker. Drops it in from 11 feet. Parker's got 4 points now in the quarter. Now a timeout called by Boston. In addition to going over the game plan and making whatever necessary adjustments have to be made, Greg, this timeout also the time for players to get rehydrated or hydrate for the first time with some Gatorade. Plenty of basketball still to be played here, and they have to get recharged.
That's a great point. Without proper hydration, a player can completely run out of gas down the stretch of a game. And that's something that none of these guys can afford to have happen. If you're going to battle all the way to the finish, you have got to be hydrated.
The Bucks making a switch here. Teletovic is checked in, and then for Boston, Amir Johnson's checked in for Horford. Crowder comes in for Brown, and it's Avery Bradley in for Marcus Smart.
And just a solid start to the season for Teletovic last year. I mean, unfortunately, it came to a close prematurely as he was battling blood clots.
A little under 2.5 minutes gone by here in the third. Now Bradley looking for his first basket still in this one. Dellavedova kicks to Teletovic. Antetokounmpo with the ball. Now guarded by Bradley. Antetokounmpo dishes to Teletovic. Antetokounmpo passes to Middleton. Down to 5 on the shot clock. Played in with a nice touch off the glass. Now it's a 7-point Bucks lead.
Every time it gets scored on during this run, it's come from inside the paint.
Yeah, they have really owned the interior. You've got to collapse that defense and force them to beat you over the top.
Outside, Antetokounmpo. Pass to Middleton. And a foul on the shot. He'll go to the stripe for 2.
And boy, how good was Chris Middleton last season? I mean, always a deep shooter who could stretch the floor. He hits the weight room in the offseason and became a much stronger defender. Now, he's one of the more promising 3-and-D guys in the league.
Miles Plumlee's checked in for Jabari Parker. Will it go? And the shot is good. The Bucks lead has been cut down now to just 6 points with that basket from Thomas. For Milwaukee, they've gone 5 of 9 on field goal attempts since halftime. And it's Middleton penetrating, and it's good. Assisting on the play was Dellavedova. And that's 11 points for Chris Middleton. And for Chris Middleton last season, he went up in points, assists, rebounds, but went down in turnovers.
Boy, what an improvement for this young man. A late bloomer. I liked him when he was at Texas A&M, still growing into his body, playing with great confidence, and he can spray that thing from 3. I like his promise.
Teletovic, and he slams it one-handed.
Tell you what, he can do a lot more damage to that rim than that when he wants to.
And you know, Clark, with the lead they're enjoying, I'm surprised he didn't put a little something extra on that one.
Me too.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm glad he didn't, because otherwise we'd probably have a 45-minute delay here if he shattered the backboard.
And some stats here, guys. The scoring breakdown for the Bucks.
Guys, their play close to the hoop has been great all game.
And you've always heard of guys being in a zone shooting, but you can be in a zone passing the basketball, and we've seen that tonight as well.
Michael Carter-Williams checked in for the Bucks. And then for Boston, Olynyk, he's checked in for Mickey. Brown comes in for Johnson. And Smart subbed in for Avery Bradley. And it's Brown missing.
If they could end every possession with that shot, they'd be happy. 9 times out of 10, that's an easy layup for him.
There's a whistle, and it goes on Isaiah Thomas. That's his 3rd foul of the game. And the Celtics making a change here. Rozier's checked in. A minute 20 left in the 3rd quarter. Plumlee attacking. Knocked loose. Olynyk the pass to Rozier. He kicks it to Olynyk. The dish to Smart. Drains it from beyond the arc. Smart's got 6. Bucks leading by 3. The pass to Dellavedova. 50 seconds left in the 3rd quarter of the game. Plumlee with the screen. Loses his man off the screen and lays it up and in. Plumlee's got his 2nd bucket tonight. Celtics trail by 5. Here's Rozier. Smart passes to Rozier. Over in the corner, Brown tries a 3. Right wing. From deep.
Smart misses.
Not really his best quarter as far as scoring. Let's see if he can eventually get back on track.
There's a screen. Antetokounmpo kicks to Carter Williams. Launches it. No good, trying to beat the buzzer.
Come on, Bradley Center. You better be making some noise for your energy.
Welcome back as we get rolling once more. The fourth quarter right ahead in what's been a very well-contested game. Celtics trail by 5. The dynamite pair of Antetokounmpo and Parker at forward. Carter Williams is the point with Middleton at the 2. And it's Monroe in at the center position. That's the 5 on the floor for the Bucks. Now the feed to Carter Williams. And it's Antetokounmpo penetrating. And it's sent back by Horford. Now here's Bradley, the fast break opportunity. Here's Smart. Some solid defense from Antetokounmpo.
Well defended, though, and he's not someone who handles that kind of pressure very well.
And the foul on Marcus Smart. Some changes for Boston. Zeller comes in for Kelly Olynyk, and it's Green in for Marcus Smart.
Tyler Zeller. Gerald Green.
Green against Carter Williams. Shot clock at 6. Monroe left side. The basket good off the assist from Carter Williams. And that's 10 points for Greg Monroe. For the Milwaukee Bucks, they won their last contest, that game against Brooklyn. Bradley dishes to Zeller. Let's go. And with that, the Bucks lead is cut back down to 5 as they get the points there from Bradley. And for Milwaukee, they're shooting 55% from the floor. They're feeling very confident offensively. Antetokounmpo against Brown. Now here's Carter Williams. He's tightly guarded. Parker left side. And a foul on the shot. He'll go to the stripe for 2. That one on Horford. And Jabari Parker as a rookie drafted number 2 overall behind Andrew Wiggins. Clark, there was much debate about which of these players, which of these prospects would be better NBA players. What do you think?
Well, I think both showed they're very capable of being stars in the league. Parker got off to a great start, averaging 30 minutes a game until, unfortunately, he had the ACL injury. And Wiggins, conversely, went on to have a big-time season, winning Rookie of the Year.
Timeout called the Bucks. The Milwaukee Bucks ended last season 41 up and 41 down. A perfect 500 mark, and they were the epitome, Clark, of average at the end of the season. And as you can see, even during it.
Well, they're a young team, but at one point, 17-17. Also had an 11-11 record against the East and 6-6 against the West.
Let's go quickly over to Doris Burke for an update.
Thanks, guys. I got a chance to hear what Jason Kidd was saying to his team. He said, we are this close to finishing them off, but the job is not done yet, and I don't want to see any let-up out there. We'll see how well his point got across, guys.
And the Bucks were average last season. I mean, they were 17-17, also 7-7 at home, 10-10 on the road, 5-5 in the games leading up to that. So in every measurable way, they were 500.
Green in the post, defended by Middleton. Deflects the pass. It's Brown with the drive. Count the bucket. Brown's got 4 points in the quarter.
You know, just thinking back to that Milwaukee factoid again, I mean, the odds that we'll ever see something like that happen again are minuscule. I mean, that team was just destined to end up 41-41.
No question he got bumped on that shot.
Yeah, the officials didn't need to talk that one over. It was obvious.
And Greg Monroe really has had a good young career despite playing out of position for much of it. He has the size and skill set of an agile center, but was made to play power forward in Detroit once they drafted Andre Drummond, and that took some getting used to.
Middleton against Brown. Middleton drives in. Back back to Carter Williams. Shot is off. Now Boston takes it the other way. We're talking about Greg Monroe, and Greg, you gave us a nice little synopsis. He doesn't have, Clark, the long-range jumper teams are now asking out of that position in this day and age in the NBA.
Yeah, more teams want that stretch power forward. He's not super athletic. Where he does his greatest damage is in the painted area, and there's still value in that.
Here's Green to tie it up. And he sinks the layup. Green's got the game tied up here for the Celtics.
Boy, such outstanding patience and decision-making for them offensively.
Absolutely. Their ball movement has been outstanding, and they're piling up the assists.
Thomas passes to Green to take the lead. He lays it in. And now we'll get a perspective here on the hustle game, how it's been going for the Celtics.
Contested shots and block shots. They're bread and butter defensively. They're giving up no easy looks.
But also, they put the offense on its heel. Look at the number of steals they've been able to get. And that's something they also can take great pride in.
Timeout called, the Bucks. They're down by 2. 1:43 left in the fourth. The Bucks making a switch here. Teletovic is checked in. Jay Crowder's checked in for the Celtics. Bradley comes in for Gerald Green. Carter Williams kicks to Teletovic. Screen by Monroe. Nice ball movement by Milwaukee. Right wing. Carter Williams against Thomas. Shot clock at 5. Here's Monroe. It's deflected. Bradley against Antetokounmpo. Now here's Middleton. Antetokounmpo with the ball. Back to Middleton. To the middle. Here's Monroe. No good on the shot. A bit long that time. Here are the Celtics with the ball. They're on a 15-6 run. Middleton against Thomas. Pass to Middleton. And Teletovic now top of the key. Horford with the rebound.
He's got to be disappointed with himself on that one. He has got to knock those down.
Crowder kicks to Bradley. Outside for Thomas. Yes!
No, that's the shot of the game.
Well, he was fearless enough to get it up and down, and it paid off for him.
Timeout called, the Bucks. They're behind by 4. We've got 28 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Johnson, he's checked in for Mickey. The shot by Middleton, wide open. It's in! And he has brought them to within 2 points.
They ran that inbounds play perfectly there to get the quick hitter.
They've been doing a great job of sharing the ball.
Excellent display of team play.
And guys, shot A comes to mind for me because right now that offense, it's a smooth operator.
Shot A. I like that, Greg.
Now a timeout called by Milwaukee. They're losing by 4. 19 seconds left in the game. What do you think, guys?
And a quick bucket and a foul is really the only option at this point.
And the important thing about the foul is who you foul. They don't want to send a top-notch free thrower to the line if they can avoid it.
Here's Carter Williams. There's the pick. To the wing on the left. Here's Teletovic. Nails it! And that shot brings them to within just 1. Now a timeout called by Boston. They lead by 1. There's 10 seconds left in the fourth quarter.
And they foul intentionally. They're going to have to do that now again and again. They're not in the penalty yet.
Honestly, just doing what they have to in order to get the basketball back.
That's a good foul, though. I like that. I mean, clock management crucial at this time of the game. Huge turnover there, and at a bad time, too. You have to value every possession.
8 seconds left to play in the final quarter. Middleton outside. Oh, no good. And so it's Boston scraping by with the win. This win, such a tremendous emotional boost for them.
Really an accomplishment and crazy finish to take a road game like this and simply deflate an entire building.
And a chance now to send you over to Doris Burke, standing by on the sideline. Doris?
Well, Al, plenty of battling out there tonight. At what point did the team start to really respond in terms of trying to stay on top of the momentum in this game?
It all started the second half. We didn't do a good job the first half. We let them hang around. But, you know, at least we reacted better the second half. This is one of those games that we just had to, you know, will our way to win this.
You toughed it out, Al. Thank you so much, guys.
All right, Doris, thank you. And that's going to do it tonight, folks, for our broadcast. For Clark Kellogg, Greg Anthony, and Doris Burke, this is Kevin Harlan thanking you for tuning in. Now we'll head over to the award-winning Ernie Johnson, who's not too far away. EJ?
The 2K Sports post-game show.
Hi again, everybody. This is Ernie Johnson, joined by Shaquille O'Neal and Kenny the Jet Smith. Time now to present our Jordan Player of the Game, Isaiah Thomas.
This guy is explosive as any guard in the league. And he's got a craftiness to his game and a work ethic that just does not quit. Whether it's creating for teammates or putting up them buckets himself, Isaiah Thomas finds a way to get it done.
In my opinion, his passing is what really drove them to this win. He did a fantastic job of spreading the ball around and keeping everyone involved in the offense. And he wound up with a nice number of assists to show for it.
And that brings us to the end of our broadcast for